everybody. Welcome to the Hook the Leg podcast. I'm here with Silent, Stuart, and Parmo. Thanks for being here, you guys.
How are you doing, lads? You all good?
Yeah, doing great.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for being here. And yeah, the second watch of All In, it was as enjoyable the second time, making those notes. And my God, that crowd was hot. And Stuart, you were there in that hot crowd, being hot. What was it like?
I was indeed. I have not rewatched it, and I feel like, you know, trying to get a bit more of a authentic experience from my viewpoint. I'm probably going to rewatch it over the weekend, but I've steadfast not watching it already though.
It's really cool when you've been there and you get to come home and watch it again, because the only Mania
well,
I've been to.
We never watched it. We never rewatched it last year. Like, it was just a couple of bits where we were trying to see ourselves in the crowd. I never ended up rewatching it. Whereas this year, I thought it was a bit of an improvement on last year. So I'm excited to rewatch it, but not yet.
It felt like, I think the show overall was a lot stronger this year. But then again, I had the best time last year, and I was loving the MJF Adam Cole storyline. So that was a great. The main event last year was.
Ignore the revisionist history from that Will Ospreay. I nearly said a very bad word then, but
you can swear on this podcast. I promise you, it's fine.
I'll try and keep it to a minimum. I'll try and behave.
But yeah, thanks for being here, everybody in the chat. Yes, All Star. That is the mini bosses covering the pro wrestling theme from the Nintendo Entertainment System, and it is our intro music, and we have done the intro music, so the podcast has begun, guys. Anything you think we should talk about from the pre-show? Stokely fun.
I'd like to talk about the Stokely match because I love Ishii.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Ishii has in fact murdered Stokely's entire bloodline and is now doing 15 years in Durham prison.
It's deserved, but you've got to say, worthwhile, right?
Yeah.
You want to kill off that bloodline now. Stokely
surprised me in that he could do moves.
Is he a former wrestler? I don't know.
I'm not sure, but he hit a really cool spinebuster. I mean, Ishii just stood up.
It's great. Waiting behind him like that.
Yeah, just stood behind him.
Stokely, of course, in the Michael Jackson "Remember the Time" attire. lovely stuff.
But it just felt it was mainly just a woman's match for the most part. It was mainly Statlander versus Willow, so which I didn't mind. And we're seeing that again. Seeing that again in All Out 2 weeks.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I'm happy about the 2 week break before All Out this time. That helps a lot. 1 week, a week flies by when you get to my age, and a little bit of a breathing room in between pay-per-views. I think is good. So and All In next year, of course, completely different time of year, right?
Yes. June. And then they switched round All Out, All In and Forbidden Door.
I think All Out is All In is July 12th in Texas.
Sweet.
Good memory.
And people are guessing it's going to be at the O2 rather than Wembley next year.
Forbidden Door would make sense.
I'm hoping. Yeah, I think even if they ran Craven Cottage, which would make a lot of sense considering the overheads, I think 40k for Forbidden Door is pushing it. Like, they barely scraped it this year. It was good.
I hear it was around 55,000, and when you saw shots of the crowd, it looked jam-packed, but they didn't announce the attendance at any point.
No. They were very, very clever with some of the camera angles, let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I can imagine it looked pretty empty.
There's still a hell of a lot of people there, but you know, if they put up the viewing figures on the screen, you would have had a lot of
they'd be just licensed for people to bitch and moan.
Only 55,000.
Yeah,
company's dead.
A massive number.
Yeah,
I think in May the numbers was more like 41 or 42. So I'm imagining maybe 10k, which is quite a lot, but 10k might have been like comp, or we did actually meet a few people on the day which had like last minute bought some tickets because I think the prices just went all the way down. But fair play, there were a lot of people coming from up Leeds way, from Scotland, from Europe, all booked hotels nearish.
Awesome.
So they made from Germany go.
Yeah, it's probably more expensive for the hotel than it was the actual show by the end of it.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like we said before we went live, nothing was lost on television. The crowd was so loud, and I had so much fun watching it and talking about it with you guys on the Discord that I only had a little bit of FOMO that I wasn't there myself, because I just had the best time. It was amazing. But I'm gonna strive to be at Forbidden Door next year, like for sure.
Oh please, yeah, we're 100% on that, definitely. I went with a few friends. We not gonna say we lost touch, but it was just like they moved up north. I still live down south. And it's been a nice, not that we should need excuses, but it was a nice excuse for everyone to kind of get together. So
yeah, well, life
definitely be doing that.
Life gets in the way, and same with me. I've got friends all over the country, in other countries, and you just don't see each other as much as you'd like to, and that's why the internet, this stream is great, especially during the pandemic. It was just amazing to keep in touch and like basically chat to your friends every night.
And last year with All In, it was a massive novelty. Like the idea of a big stadium show in the UK for the first time since, what was it, 91, 92?
Oh, yeah.
Like people were flocking everywhere, from everywhere to get tickets to All In. Whereas this year, I'm really surprised they decided to run Wembley again. It was a massive gamble, but it was good. It was definitely good. The atmosphere in there was amazing. I feel like if they had downsized it ever so slightly, gone to Craven Cottage, had everyone sort of sitting more around, because our section was really, really loud, really, really good. I know Adam Jonesio went as well. He was sat in a different area. He had slightly different experience depending on the people that are around him.
Yeah.
But I think, for next year, if it was at the O2, it would be incredible. If it was at Craven Cottage, I think it would still be better.
When the crowds are so big, you hear stories of just chants that are only in certain pockets of the crowd, and I never heard that chant. It's crazy. That's the kind of sheer numbers of wrestling fans you're dealing with there.
Yeah, there was even a Mercedes Moné chant at one point, but ironically,
I don't believe you.
That's a lie. Fake news.
Kimpler, you're looking at Parmo in the San Francisco hat there, and Stuart, of course, and Silent, and that's and this is me. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Hello.
Now, so Parmo, you did want to touch on something else on the pre-show.
I've got a couple of things. Yeah, well, I've got a couple of things. The first one is TK coming out with them fucking nerd glasses on. He did look sober, which makes me think he doesn't know where to get marching powder in London.
I love his in front of a live crowd voice. I'm here on the microphone.
He's having a great time. He's the biggest mark of us all, and we're all fucking marks. Like,
it's great that after years of being basically lambasted for being a wrestling fan whilst watching a wrestling show by the people running the wrestling show, that Tony is a fan, and he's got his flaws, as do we all, but compared to, let's just compare him to Vince, I'd rather spend an evening with Tony Khan than Vince McMahon.
Yeah, I mean,
call me crazy.
Tony Khan gets a lot of shit, and rightly so, right? Rightly so. But I just look at it like, if I was and I'm not making any sort of accusations here, I'm just saying hypothetically, if I was a billionaire cokehead, I would definitely be buying a wrestling company.
Are you not, Stuart?
No, not quite. I was halfway there at one point, but I had to give that up.
Yeah, Stuart was a billionaire.
I'm sorry you had to give up being a billionaire. That sucks, dude. That sucks. But yeah, back to the family, Palmer.
Yeah, well, we'll get there. Don't worry. There was a 10-man tag match. Fuck knows, didn't know who half the people were. I do want TK tried in The Hague for putting Shibata and Ishii on the pre-show.
Lots of people confined to the 0 hour show there.
Yeah, I didn't bother watching that. I have in my notes, fuck this, I'm putting some bacon in the air fryer.
How was the bacon?
Yep. It was nice. It was very nice.
Air fryers are
18
great,
minutes,
aren't
18 minutes on 180.
they? The only thing
Comes out
the only thing that comes out worse in the air fryer that I've seen so far are bird's eye potato waffles. That's the only thing that my air fryer can't do.
Really, mine can do them all
I
right.
don't think you're using your air fryer to its fullest potential, to be honest, mate.
God, well, thanks. I just needed you guys to show me the way.
Yeah.
Parmo, continue.
Then Saraya comes out with a load of actually indie wrestlers. I know Lizzie Evo was there, a few others that I can't remember off the top of my head.
I just
They're
thought it was
all-
the extended night family. I was like, how many are there?
Yeah, it's like probably a load.
Fucking many.
No, it's genuinely like Lizzie Evo and stuff like that. I recognised, and that was cool. Jamie Hayter came back. That was the big news, and murdered half of the UK indie scene. Not unlike WWE in about 2018.
And speaking out.
And speaking out. And then Saraya's family, or at least her mum, turned up, and I have in my notes, fuck's sake, not this bitch's carny family. Hi, Ronnie Radke. He's coming to my door now.
They threatened. Someone was threatening a Falling in Reverse live performance last year, and I was like, well, that's when I'm going to go and get my chicken tendies. But
It wasn't allowed in the country last year.
Oh God, the ban hasn't been lifted, is it?
Good.
Oh, no, it's been lifted. He's coming to the country soon. I'm going to be killed.
I thought you said I'm going to be at the front row, singing along.
I'd rather be killed.
Well, we'll call that Plan B, Palmer. Let's not go mad. But yeah, obviously huge pops for Jamie.
Yeah.
Rumored return, and everyone was very happy to see her. And yeah, Silent, you were talking about this the other day. I believe Sean Ross Sapp has alluded to Jamie not wanting to work with Britt anymore due to potential personal problems. Obviously, we don't know about this for sure, but it would have made more sense if she made her appearance during the Britt Mercedes match. It would have brought some much needed heat to that match. But no, we saw her on the pre-show, and that was it.
That was a really weird situation because, like, I mean, being on the pre-show, it's not like a big occasion for her big return. But I guess they sort of had to play a little bit by ear based on recent rumors regarding Britt. So I figure any plans they might have had, they've had to adjust them quite quickly.
And at least it was right at the end of 0 hour when most of the people are in their seats, ready to go.
That's what I'm thinking. Especially, like, I mean, I don't know what the buy rate is. I don't know if they've been announced. But, like, bringing her out and showing, oh, yeah, she's back while she's on the 0 hour in UK. Yeah, I can see why they did that.
It's probably the information I should have here, but I don't. I think more than 10 people bought the show. So that's
good. Might even go up to 20 if they're lucky.
Oh boy. We
I
can
also
only
have,
dream.
Yeah, I also have Renee is very good at her job, which she is.
Yes.
She's amazing at her job. I really like RJ more in the setting of Hey EW. I think he's very funny. But also Jeff Jarrett all over 0 hour, and like I said recently on stream, Jeff Jarrett's just been completely re-evaluated, and everyone's loving him, and I say good for him.
I'll add to the pre-show if that's all right.
Please do.
So,
Okay.
There was actually, I don't know if it was televised even, but there was like a pre-show with a 16-man tag. Was that televised at all?
Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah. I just
Right,
didn't watch
okay.
it 'cause I didn't care.
So that was the one. So Jeff Jarrett was in that match. I am a massive Jeff Jarrett mark, and I have been for a very, very long time.
Yeah, me
When
too.
I got into wrestling, it was around 99, 2000, so it was peak Jarrett in
The
WCW.
chosen one.
Oh yeah, slap nuts.
Yeah.
NWO 2000. You look back on that and it's shite, but as a kid, that was the coolest thing until you realise or find out more about the Harris brothers. But
Well, he was a great guy, just in a strange Russo booked position.
Yeah. So I had a little bit of issue getting into the stadium. My ticket wasn't working.
Oh gosh.
So I had to go and queue up and at the ticket office to try and get my ticket reprinted. There was a whole faff with that.
Nightmare.
So I ended up missing that match, and I was fucking gutted. But we will get on to a bit more Double J later on, I'm sure. Luckily, I was very things got better for me.
Nice.
On the Jeff Jarrett front.
I'm glad they let you in the building. Cause
yeah, it was touch and go for a minute.
But was it? I remember leaving last year was a bit of a pain in the ass. Was the curfew earlier this year? Because obviously, you could tell a few matches had to be shortened for that strict 10 p.m. curfew. But I can't remember what time we got out last year. But you seemed to be on the train like pretty
rapid.
quickly. Yeah.
It was only my second time ever going to Wembley Stadium, and last year I ended up getting a lift. So it was my first time doing the Wembley Park train experience afterwards, and I was thoroughly impressed with how sort of organised it was. Spoiler for what we're going to talk about later, but what they do is they sort of get you on in sections, so you have to stop, and then when it starts moving again, and every time it started moving, there was a massive yes.
I don't think they did that last year. You just got out of the stadium and then you're in that very slow-moving queue, and you're like, "Am I going to make these trains?" Oh gosh, because London, make your trains run later. It's bank holiday weekend.
Yeah.
It
doesn't make any
sense at all.
It's just anyway.
I'm a wrestling fan. They don't care. They don't care about us. They never have.
Well, let's kick off with the main show then. And the show, they did the entrances during the 0 hour, but it kicked off with the trios ladder match. BCC, BBG, Patriarchy, and the House of Black. Stuart, good times? Live?
I was going to say, how was it for you? Because it was very bizarre watching it, and we were looking at the time going, is everyone getting a jobber entrance for this? Like, it was very strange, but
you really see on this card how stacked the roster is. Happy for everyone who got a payday, and a crowd has the ability to sort of make or break a pay-per-view depending on how much noise they make, and the crowd for this show, bar a few moments later on, are just going mad for absolutely everything. And we learned during the pandemic, because you think, oh well, you could probably do wrestling matches in front of no crowds. Wrong.
Yeah. No.
When you don't have that reaction, I just remember thinking, God, wrestling's a bit weird, isn't it? When there's no crowd, it's just, what are these people doing?
Yeah. I appreciate the fact they piped in some noise during the pandemic, but
Thunderdome.
It's never the same.
Yeah, Thunderdome was weird anyway. I mean, people put pictures of Chris Benoit up.
They've got to do that, because you've got to QA that shit as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So we're going to throw some hardcore stuff at you, like here's Benoit, probably a few naked guys, and so WWE learned very quickly. I shouldn't have done that, really. It's like I said, you were doing them a service. You're doing the important
everyone
work.
A service, really.
You're welcome.
But yeah, I'm going to take you through the play-by-play of these matches, and we're going to do a round table of comments afterwards. Yeah, amazing atmosphere, like I said, coming across clear as day on television. I love professional wrestling, I've written here, which is one of my favourite recent Michael Cole quotes that he hasn't been able to say for the last 20 years. Christian runs away. Hilarious.
Genius move.
I haven't checked the stats, but one can only imagine that since he started wearing them, turtleneck sales have gone up like 25% worldwide. I'm gonna have to
after
check
it went down during the 12 series of The Big Bang Theory.
God.
Fuck that show, by the way.
But yeah, agreed. Although it's my dad's favourite show. But
get about it, Dad.
Nobody's perfect. But yeah, everyone's flying high, left, right, and centre. But they love Pac the most, and he wasn't on the show last year. And of course, he's the hometown boy. Speaking of the entirety of England,
I do have in my notes the bastard gets a massive pop, and then Newcastle mentioned, followed by this man would kick the shit out of me and not even rob me.
That's the gentlemanly way to do it. Leave you with the memories and all of your cash. So that's great. But yeah, it's mad. We're spoilt these days. There's so many wrestlers that can do the high flying shit incredibly well, but no one flies like Pac.
And he makes it mean something as well. Every time he does something, it's for a purpose.
Just amazing.
Yeah, when he was in WWE and he was playing babyface, he was amazing. Now he's
With the cape?
bastard. He's a heel. It's so perfect.
I know, and it's coming across so naturally to him. He's a really nice, kind of reserved guy in real life, but he plays this part incredibly well. And I imagine after being told, smile more when you go out there with your cape, he doesn't have to maybe force the bitterness.
I think they wanted to make him like a bit of a superhero character.
Yeah, because they put him with Stephen Amell, who was playing Arrow at the time. Was it SummerSlam 2015,
Yeah.
2016, something like that?
Mighty Mouse.
That's the one match I remember him being in the Fed. And then, like, he's wrestled Orange Cassidy and shit like that. He's wrestled Kenny Omega. There was it Triple Threat? And he's just put on consistently good. I love Pac. Like, 3 of my favourite wrestlers were in this match. And Juice Robinson, who I despise.
Well, the Pearl Harbor Poison Rana that he did on Dynamite last night, I've just been watching the clip over and over. It's just incredible.
Flawless.
Two
of
the
them.
Best
Absolutely
British wrestlers.
Flawless.
Two of the best wrestlers right now.
Yeah. That's all they
British.
need to do to set up that match. They've got a 2-week build. That was perfect. We don't need to see any more of that. It'll be the best match on the show.
Yeah, I just need Pac to kick the shit out of Will Ospreay. That's all I need.
But like, even if someone does a picture perfect 450 splash these days, I've seen a 450 splash. You know, been there, done that. But the way Pac, the way he twists, the way he lands with so much force. Like I said, nobody does it like him, and
It's incredible.
It's absolutely incredible. Guns do a double Dudley spot. Thoughts on the British tables, guys? A little bit of comments online about how they seem to be a bit flimsier than their American cousins.
When I watched it the second time, I just thought, actually, the tables are okay. I don't see what the issue is.
Slightly different look, but yeah, at least they could get those gimmicked tables over here. And
we have to talk about the comically small ladders, though. Did that translate well onto television?
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of them were a bit
definitely
teeny
did.
tiny.
The tall one was way too tall, and then the little one was way too little.
Yeah, it's a little step ladder.
Middle ground,
yeah,
Tony. Come on, Craig. What's your question about MJF?
Knocking the belts. That was phenomenal.
Like I said, the crowd like popping big for every little thing.
Yeah.
Christian's back when everyone's down and climbs the ladder, cut off by Brody and Claudio, and he gets thrown out, and everyone piles on Christian and beats the shit out of him. It's great. He's the man you love to hate.
Yeah.
He's such a good heel. He's so good in the role where he just reminds people their dads are dead.
It's
even just hearing it like that, it just makes me realise exactly how funny it is.
It's I can't get enough of it, especially the Botchamania ending that's obviously done the rounds now, when they've put "But Your Father's Dead, Dead, Dead" to his music. I don't know why he didn't start coming out to that specific remix. He probably should do, Christian.
Well, I mean, I have notes on like all of the entrances.
Excellent.
For this match, which is House of Black entrance. I am fully erect. I love House of Black so much. They appeal to me in like the sort of metal like sort of stuff.
Yeah, and like I said,
they just look amazing.
The roster, I'm just like, oh yeah, Malachi Black's still with the company. Amazing.
Yeah, and exactly like that trio, House of Black / Kings of the Black Throne, when it's just Brody and Malachi. It's just incredible. I have in my notes here, it's like if Guar was good, followed by Buddy needs a mask.
And a new name.
Yeah, it's full, and then words cannot describe how much I despise Juice Robinson. The guns are cool. They should have come out to Many Men again.
Craig, I'm going to come back to your MJF comment in the MJF match, so just copy and paste it when we get to that match, but I appreciate that. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Claudio and Wheeler did some form of fusion dance. Am I wrong? The Bastard got some pyro, which surprised me. They used pyro that early in the show. But it makes sense again. Hometown boy.
Are they still not? Are they still not using pyro regularly in AEW right now? Because I do WWE. It's probably the shirt.
Showing your age there, mate.
It's probably the shirt. I'm looking at the logo right here. But
yes, pandas with pyro.
It's like when someone like Lesnar does the entrance and there's no pyro, or Britt Baker doing that and there's no pyro. You're like, oh. I know it's a cost cutting
without
thing,
pyro would be weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much. And then obviously Christian came out, and Christian is Christian. And I wanted him to remind somebody that their dad's dead, but he didn't.
Okay, so Mama Wayne climbs the ladder in heels. Impressive. The Gunstopper then kill switch cleans house with a choke slam symphony. Wayne's well to Brody through a table on the outside. Excellent. Cannonball double basement dropkick from the House of Black. Now, I'm not a big fan of the cannonball usually, but when Brody does it, there's weight behind it, and there's the stereo dropkick on the other side. Just a great triple team attack. Claudio takes out the Bang Bang Gang. The man's a machine and seemingly impervious to jet lag. Because you guys know about, like, didn't he go like Wales, Mexico,
Wales,
London in the space
something
of
like that.
4 days? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know he loves his coffee, but still, I don't know. He's not human.
Yeah.
So many of these wrestlers aren't. It's crazy.
Maybe he actually is a Swiss cyborg.
Yeah. There's the potential for that, to be fair.
People would be shocked, but they have been telling us this whole time. So yeah, but yeah, like the Black Arrow. I like I said, if I see a 450 now, I'm like, yeah. But I will never ever get bored of the Black Arrow. It's the weight that he comes down on those guys with. I'd be shitting myself if I was like.
Like you said, how far we've come since like Billy Kidman. You shitting yourself every time Billy Kidman did a
do it,
Kidman.
Kidman.
He wasn't gonna knock someone out, and then when Pat goes up there, you're like, everything's gonna be just fine with this.
Kidman was so lucky to have come around at that time when you didn't see a lot of shooting stars, because he would have been the first that a lot of people saw do it, and you'd be like, wow. Yeah. But yeah, he nearly kills himself every time. Sorry, Palmer, go on.
Yeah, I'd say my first experience with high flying wrestlers when I was a kid was Jeff Hardy. And looking back now, his Swanton Bomb, it just looks a bit floaty compared to, like you said, like Pac's move and stuff like that. It just looks a bit meh.
Floaty like the shooting mechanics in Uncharted, Palmer.
Yes, exactly. Or the shooting mechanics in The Last of Us.
You're here to... It's okay. Gravity is very important to you, and I appreciate that. I do. I do. You've got a belief system.
Exactly. It keeps me grounded.
Hi-oh! But yeah, Brody and Claudio climb the ladder with the guns on their backs. They both drop through tables. The crowd are loving this. Stuart, can you confirm?
A little bit awkward, live. Not gonna lie, it's a little bit awkward, but you know, it was helped by the crowd. I feel, because there was the obvious, like, everyone knew what was happening, everyone knew what was going on, and then everyone like, ooh, and then when they went through pretty clean, which was good.
Yeah.
Talking about the tables from earlier, tables seemed fine live. There was a couple of, I don't know if it was this match or another match, where people just seemed to bounce off them. Like the tables weren't playing ball by the end of it.
I'm thankful for the wrestlers' sake that it wasn't. It was more on that end of the scale rather than the New Japan tables, which are just proper dining room tables.
Yeah,
you wouldn't. Yeah,
it's absolutely insane. But yeah, it's slightly different tables over here in England. Sorry, Americans, there's no corn syrup in them. That's all it is. Tope Destroyer from Wayne to Malachi through the table. Ridiculous.
There was the Tope Suicide that Wayne did as well on Malachi, but Malachi was too close to the ring. So as you see Nick Wayne running, he's like, oh shit, he's too close. They started slowing it down. It was going in slow motion. It's so weird, like a toddler walking.
He's
young.
They
didn't want another Brian Cage. We forgot to mention the Brian Cage dive over the top rope that ended in nearly a concussion. So they were just trying to avoid something like that.
Of course, this it, man. Yeah, the pre-show.
What's my
so
my
many
note
wrestlers.
For that? It's Brian Royd Rage did a jump thing. Is my note for that.
And and like I said in the Discord, I didn't know he liked Wolverine. Should have made that clearer before. And yeah,
Kill Switch. Have we got to that bit yet?
Isn't it him and Sammy were wearing?
Was there no communication between them two? They're just one of us is going to have to change.
Pretty poor.
I have a note of Kill Switch choke slamming Yuta onto Claudio. That looked fucking cool.
That was amazing.
Yeah, part of the choke slam symphony. Mama Wayne passes hairspray / mace, whatever it was, to Christian, takes out Wheeler with it. Mama Wayne tries to spray juice, but he uses a chair as a shield, which I enjoyed, and sprays her. Gestures to pile
One of
drive.
two
Go on.
things that Juice did in the whole match, incidentally. The other one was where he climbed the ladder and Christian toppled it. That was it.
I rated the using a chair as a shield spot though.
It was cool.
Yeah.
However, I do have Mother Wayne being attacked. Juice Robinson cancelled.
Yeah, like I said, like I was going to say rather, gestures to pile drive Mama Wayne off the apron, Rhino style, but it's thwarted by Killswitch. Gets chokeslammed through said table. Crowd chant Luchasaurus in attempt to bring him back to the light. Did they bring him back to the light? We'll find out later on. No. No. Spear from Christian.
It was a close call who got booed more, Mama Wayne or Martha Hart on the pre-show.
But Martha Hart for mentioning
Did not like her.
Canada. It was like, wait a minute.
Tony's reaction as well. It was like, come on.
Hey!
No, I've
Don't
got notes for
boo
that as
Martha
well.
Hart!
I've got booze for Canada, booze for America Land, cheers for the Commonwealth, flag shaggers.
I expected America to get booed for Bants, but not Canada.
Yeah, Canada. Yeah,
Canada
we're
makes
in
no
a bad
sense.
way to say about Canada.
Have they not seen Due South? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But spear from Christian off ladder to Buddy through a table. Killswitch assists Christian up the ladder to a chorus of boos, again like Rhino. But Pac puts a stop to it and grabs the belt, and everyone's super happy for Pac to get his Wembley moment, like the Gallaghers next year.
Ugh.
150 quid standing.
Fuck off!
I thought it would be
You know what?
more.
You know what? That's not terrible.
I thought it would be more.
That's not terrible.
I can get into like 5 gigs for that. You can fuck off.
Yeah, but are they gonna? Is anyone gonna say sunshine at any point?
No, because I don't listen to music like that. They're all just going to shout at
The
me.
music you go to, Parmo, everything's going to smell like a fucking pea changing room.
Oh, yeah, and I'm going to love it. And I'm going to come out with British
It's
ribs.
Wembley's open air, you know?
I was like 150. You can get 1.5 Donald Trump digital trading cards for that price. Just think about how you spend your money, everybody. Come on, Alien Ant Farm as well. Alien Ant Farm touring for 30 quid. So about
Yeah,
the people.
that's what I mean. Alien Ant Farm and CKY, if memory serves.
Of course.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Tickets already booked. So if you're
Yeah.
not,
I'm
yeah,
booking
go.
tickets.
Come.
We
Oh,
move
God.
on.
It's been a while since somebody said that to me.
We move on swiftly.
I do have in my notes,
go on.
Guan Pak lad, Gan fucking Raj.
And I couldn't agree more, said the Southerner awkwardly.
I concur, sir.
Fucking Southerners.
Moving swiftly on to let's leave this north-south divide behind. Yeah, I love the north, I really do. And then they go, and I was like, oh, I love
A
Leeds.
gravy's not a seasoning, alright?
You shut your whore mouth.
Moving on to Mariah May versus Tony for the AEW Women's Championship match. I should say, great heat, of course. The great heat continues. Amazing show. I've said that already. Mariah's got that bloody shoe, and we get a shot of Mother Lorraine May during her entrance in the audience there. Will she come into play later on? We see a portrait of Tony at Wembley in 1924, so she's got a great skincare routine. Then we hear the first ever Luther chant,
Good.
and Idris Elba is
I know.
nowhere in sight.
He was over. Oh yeah, everyone loved a bit of Luther.
Crowd fully behind Tony, but they also love to hate Mariah. Chopping some meat DDT from Tony, crowd love it. Missed hip attack, and Tony takes a powerbomb to the outside. Mina is conflicted in the audience.
Yep.
How come she wasn't ringside?
I'll be honest with you. It's been a very, very busy month around here, so it's been very difficult to catch up or keep up with AEW television. So I don't know if it was explained in the build-up. We didn't have the benefit of commentary live. I had absolutely no fucking idea that was her mum.
Well, trust me. My first wrestling show that I ever went to live was
Not World Wrestling All Stars.
World Wrestling All Stars. Thank you. I was trying to recall the name there.
Disco.
Just broadcasting the commentary over the PA system, and
Fantastic.
and the color commentators are slagging off wrestlers, and I'm like, he can hear you. At the time, though, I was like, "Oh, this is pretty good to have the commentary." Anyway, I didn't know any better.
Well, Disco Inferno's not known for his intelligence, though. So.
Yeah.
Or his dancing, or his wrestling. What is he known for?
Commentary,
being a
World
piece of shit.
Yeah, Disco
The
was.
first,
Go
the
on.
first show I went to around here, because there used to be a promotion about 10 minutes from where I lived. I did a bit of training with them, and so I got in for free. And there was a team called the Cosplay Kings. Lovely people, lovely fellas behind the scenes. And they dressed up as Spider-Man as Thor, so I just shouted at the camera person, "Get me pictures of Spider-Man!" And my mate beside me just fucking howled. It was brilliant.
Always good to have some J. Jonah Jameson representation at a wrestling show. But yes,
Exactly, we need more of it.
that was Mariah May's mother, and of course, yeah. So, what were the screens like, Stuart? I hear on one side there was just no screen, so there was one section of the audience that didn't have a screen to show them what was going on.
I think that was the same issue last year as well. But
Interesting.
yeah, from our vantage point, from where we were sat, we had 3 screens. So we had the big one above the ring, and then one sort of right to the Titantron. Do we still call it a Titantron? The big
I
screen,
always will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one on the opposite end.
The
as well,
Tonytron.
Yeah. So yeah, it was all pretty well. Yeah, everything was very visible from our point of view. I don't know about other people on the opposite side, on like the camera side. Yeah.
Really odd. People were not happy about it online, you know. And if that happened last year, you'd think that wouldn't happen again this year. But also last year, we'll come to this later on. Streamers stuck in the rafters. We'll come back to that in a bit. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mina's conflicted in the audience. Mariah beats Tony down, kisses her on the forehead. Pollen. Knee strike off the apron from Mariah, and the crowd are again loving this. I probably didn't need to write that as much as I did.
See that knee strike. It looked like she missed and changed it into a clothesline.
If anyone can do it, it's her.
Yeah.
Knee strike and clothesline all in one.
Yeah, and then the note I have after this is Nigel McGuinness is a lucky bastard.
My next
great
note,
night.
comedy in wrestling is way underappreciated. See Mariah kissing Nigel and slapping her own mother. Her own mother, not the opponent's mother.
Yeah, I thought that was Tony's mum.
No, it was her own. The worst thing you can do, you know. She made the journey. You know,
Just in case you weren't aware that she was a heel, she needs to slap her own mum.
That was incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I've just seen Kimpler's comment. That's a bit of a foreshadowing.
Yeah, exactly. There's a great Simpsons meme that I saw. It's like, but I'm just a fool. No, you're not a fool, Nigel. Why? Because my mother told me to never kiss a fool. Kisses him, and then he's, oh, I've got the strength now. For what? We'll find out in a few minutes' time. Tony takes control back with a hip attack, and then Storm Zero on the steps. Ouch.
Oh.
And then
That looks so brutal.
Tony consoles Mariah's mom, who's still selling the slap. Beautiful work. It's in the DNA of that family, wrestling.
My notes I have slap random attack on random woman followed by hug to same random woman.
Man, and what's worse, your own mother or a complete stranger? I think the latter, because then you'll have a lawsuit on your hands.
True. Yeah, I thought I had more impact when I was in the belief that it was just a random fan. Like when I found out it was her mum, I was like, oh.
You're like, damn, I should have been ringside. That could have been me.
Yeah.
You had. I saw your view though, Stuart. Looked good. Good seats.
Yeah. Last year we had floor seats, but in the corner.
Wow.
So everything was a little bit obscured, especially during the Sting Darby Christian Swerve coffin match. As soon as they went to the floor, nothing. Whereas this year we were sort of one tier up, so everything. It was a lot better. I think we'd do the same next year, or the year after, or whenever they decide to run Wembley again.
I think it'll happen again. Like I said, AEW's not dying like some people would have you believe. And the wrestling industry, of course, we all know this, is so much healthier with an alternative, with competition.
Yeah.
And it's a great time to be a wrestling fan, especially as WWE are on fire right now.
We've been wrestling fans for long enough to know that things come in cycles. Like Parmo mentioned earlier, in 2018, wrestling, WWE was on his arse. Like, and you know, AEW's clearly having a bit of a struggle at the minute. It is getting better, but you know,
they're definitely on the up.
It's just a shame that there's not as many people watching it, seeing it get better right now. There's still the perception and then the tribalism, and you know, we could talk hours about that shit, but it's getting better.
The best.
There's a cat.
Cat appears. This is great. Running.
The best example of that is TNA.
Don't slap that cat.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to slap the cat. It's just moved across.
That's the only thing worse than slapping one's own family member. Slapping your own cat.
Oh, yeah,
Kimpler said All In 2026. Did it not specify Wembley? I don't think they've specified the location for All In 2026 yet.
The hoarding said London. That was it.
London. That narrows it down.
I think during the show they did specify, or someone did mention it being Wembley Stadium.
Okay.
But I'm with you. I can't see it happening. I don't know. Yeah, it just doesn't seem.
There's so many venues in London that you could go to. The O2 is super easy to get to for me as well. So.
Oh, it's alright for some.
Wouldn't say no. Well, yeah. Do you know what? Good point. Take a show up north, Tony. For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Nah.
Tony, come on.
I don't know why they don't do Birmingham.
Come do Wembley.
You're
not
daft
Wembley.
racist.
St James.
Great selling from the slap, like I said, from Mrs. May. Still doing it. Mariah's bleeding from the steps. Somehow, Mariah.
That was a blade job.
Mariah spits in Tony's face, but Tony hits the Baldo bomb. A-Train, massive pop from A-Train. Mariah comes back with a drop kick off the top. Mariah's drop kicks are fantastic, absolutely fantastic. With that flat
really
back
good wrestler.
Bam. Triple hip attack in the corner from Mariah. Tony comes back with a clothesline, German into the corner. Tony hip attack, the deadliest move in wrestling. It just looks like she kills them. I mean, a hell of a way to go, but damn.
Many arse attacks is what is in my notes.
And Storm Zero for a 2. Punches, slaps exchanged, then double headbutt. Mayday gets a 2 count, I should say. Luther keeps the belt away from May, flips her off for the second Luther chant of the night. And then Tony dooms herself by hesitating with the shoe. Dumb babyface.
Yep.
Too much of a heart.
I mean, a good indication of a baby face with such behaviour, but yeah, as soon as that happened, I knew it was all over. Knee strike to the back of the head, knee strike to the front of the head. May hits the Storm Zero for the win. Fantastic match.
I have. You missed one important part.
Go ahead.
I have in my notes. Cunt punts.
Didn't need to say anything after that.
When they both kicked each other in the fanny.
Dangerous.
Dangerous.
I mean,
Did they sell it?
it's much more deadly than like when China would like lower blow a woman, and they're like, ah. I'm like, yeah.
They could have lost their boots.
I know. Jesus. Luckily,
disgusting. I'm so sorry.
That didn't happen. But yeah, end of the match. Mina still conflicted. Mariah's mum she's still like, ah.
Proper.
Great selling from Mama May. Logan Paul, take notes.
Amazing stuff. Absolutely amazing stuff. He can't. He's too busy throwing his own dog into a body of water.
Logan Paul's a piece of shit, isn't he?
Moving swiftly on because...
Just say, sorry, one of the criticisms from that match was that it was very short. Live. Having a look at the Wikipedia page, it was like 15 minutes.
Well, Stuart, I can assure you it was exactly the same length on television as well.
Oh.
But didn't overstay its welcome.
No, exactly. Leave them wanting more. And
exactly.
I did like the Toni Storm sort of wrestling with her own sanity at the end, like when she lost. So
you didn't know where she was. Thought she was back in 1924. I mean, Toni Storm before the reinvention into Timeless. She needed a character so desperately, and what an overcorrection. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would never in a million years have thought she was capable of that, to be honest. You just didn't have anything like that in WWE
It's
or when
amazing,
she started
isn't
in AEW, and then suddenly this happens. It's just like, holy shit, she's like the most over woman in the company.
Yeah.
Someone who reminds me
back-
of that was swig of drink. Kofi Kingston, who I just thought had no personality, and then he joined the New Day, and he was cracking me up like all of the time. It's amazing when it's more like go out there and be yourself rather than go out there and be Jamaican. Be Jamaican, Kofi.
Didn't he have a Jamaican accent?
He tried, bless him.
I think the New Day reignited Kofi Kingston's career. I don't think he'd be with the Fed without the New Day.
100%. And like I was sick of the sight of him, and the New Day made me laugh so many times. One time I was at the O2 backstage, and Simon Miller was interviewing them, all three of the New Day, and they were just completely taking over with their personality. And then they're like, "Why are you here? Why are you even here?" And then Simon goes, "I'm here to interview you people." And then he goes like that, and New Day are like, "Oh, you people!" Yeah,
oh no!
And everyone was dying behind that. Oh, it's so brilliant. I love the New Day. I wouldn't mind if the New Day were one of those factions that never split up, but it looks like they're. It looks like they're going. There's a few quick thank yous. Spiffing, Leg Drop, Skylab, thank you so much for the follows. And what's up, Paul Bearer? Paul Bearer. Oh yes. Good to see you. I guess reports of your death have been greatly exaggerated. Anyway, we've got to move on. We've really got to move on, lest this end up a 3-hour podcast. And the next match, of course, is Hook in the inescapable Jericho vortex. It really is inescapable. I mean, we'll come to the end in a minute, but let's just go on with it. Hi guys, I have to say, in between the lyrics to that Learning Tree song really made me laugh. He had like a couple of seconds to get a breath, but he slipped in a few hi guys. Very, very funny. And last year, the Judas performance was perfect. I thought he was going to do an extended like 12-minute version, but it was like one verse, one chorus, you're done. And I like the Judas song, and I was happy to get my sing-along moment. Weird that he was doing the Freddie Mercury, Deo.
Yeah, that was very awkward.
You're not
very,
Freddie Mercury,
very
Chris.
I have in my notes. Go on, Steve, you go first. I have in my notes. I was watching with a few people, and my mate's brother just shouted in the background, "Imagine paying $50 to see this."
What, you mean a bonus music concert along with a wrestling show? Sounds like good value of money to me.
Also, Jericho did call Oasis getting back together.
I mean, he's the only one to do it. They certainly weren't waiting for the 10 years and then they can do that.
It was his idea.
So
it was his idea.
High Flying Birds, now that it's no longer needed for music purposes, name a High Flying Ladies tag team that, if you want, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, also, Jericho would have stopped 9/11 as well, so...
If only someone had given him the chance, you know? Anyway, Hook gets the Taz life support beeps for his entrance. Great stuff, crowd pops. Fire up the Hook signal. Gone?
Loved it.
Yeah,
Loved the little Taz nod at the start. Very, very... It brought me all the way back. I was a kid again in that moment. Very, very cool.
I was kind of hoping they would just hit the Jim Johnston Taz theme, but...
yeah, just fuck it.
I know, fuck it. Tony and what? Pay the fine afterwards. It's fine. I was going to say, like... fuck it, I'll bring it up now. Final Countdown, Seek and Destroy, and the Taz music. Tony Khan's budget for music alone is more money than all four of us will ever see in our lifetimes. It's quite impressive.
Thing is, as well, talking of themes, I'm not a big CM Punk fan at all. However, the fact that TK paid for End of Heartache by Killswitch Engage and didn't pay for This Fire Burns pissed me off.
Do you think maybe he'll do like a one-off entrance to it in the Fed, like he did with that one-off AFI entrance?
I am praying for that day.
It's a banger.
I can understand why he didn't do it in AEW. I think this whole AEW run was like designed as I'm getting everything away from WWE. Like he got the AFI entrance, he had all that sort of callback. I think it wouldn't have fit with his AEW persona if he'd had This Fire Burns. Personally, I think we've got
Full
more chance of
personality.
hearing "Burning My Light" for Randy Orton during the John Cena retirement tour, which I'm
I'm
hoping
begging for that as well.
I love that.
I'd love it.
Just bring back mid 2000s themes.
I
'cause they
know,
were the
right?
best. Finger 11, the Kane theme, unbelievable.
He
And
would,
sign
Limp
Snitsky to a
Bizkit.
fucking contract, would you?
Yeah.
It wasn't his fault, all right?
just getting super nostalgic for 2006 here. It's mental.
Oh, just fuck it. Oh, 2006 SmackDown vs. Raw 06 had a banging soundtrack as well.
Indeed, it did. 3-on-1
watched it.
beatdown for a lot of this match. It's FTW/Bloodline/ House of Torture rules. But sometimes it's just Jericho and Hook with no interference. Pool cue, kendo stick, cricket balls, silent, and you were in the Discord. You're like, "Fuck me, those are hard." And I'm like, "Yeah." For anyone who's never come into contact with a cricket ball, they are solid as fuck.
Very solid. Like the first one he hit, like you heard it clang off of the railings, and I think he must have thought, "Fucking hell." Because the second one he hit, that was the softest tap ever.
I was like,
Yeah.
God, I hope no one in the crowd caught one in the face. Again, hello lawsuit, but Tony.
I did get annoyed at Hook for not bowling cricket balls properly.
Hey, he's American.
Bloody Yanks.
Softball.
Do it like a baseball.
Also, right, I don't watch the TV show. Why was Hook a pirate?
Oh, because he got a fireball in his face months and months ago from the Wizard.
Oh, is he back to that fucking gimmick? again?
Silent.
Kevin Nash.
That's Oz. So I think you said ages ago in the Discord when he started the learning tree stuff. You're like, I think he's an actual wizard or something. Like, how is he getting this over? I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's so true. How does he do it?
Like it's so fucking awful. Like really, truly awful. But it keeps going through phases where it's awful in the way that it is meant to be awful, and then it gets amazing, then it gets awful again, then it gets amazing. It's like one of those jokes that if you commit to it enough, it just keeps getting funnier and funnier.
And
It's perfect for him. He's way more dangerous when he's self-aware, and the fact that he's doing it with the "Hi guys," it's you want to hate him, but that's his job. So I don't want to say nice things about Jericho, but he's fucking killing
he's
it
got
again.
he's got the charisma. He is better at reinventing himself than Madonna. Honestly, I
He's
like,
annoyingly good at this stuff.
get Hook away from him, but like, you know, let's be honest. Jericho coming into AEW at that time, at the start, really helped the company. Really helped the company. The fact he was their first world champion.
He
And
was
he's-
100% the right one as well.
Because one of my friends, never a wrestling fan, and I was talking about AEW at the time. I said Chris Jericho. He said, "Oh, Chris Jericho." So he's a name that people know, and has done a lot for AEW and for overthrowing governments in January. But you know, but what can't he do, right? Come on now.
Wrestle anymore.
True.
Back suplex on the cricket balls to Jericho, and he missed most of them, thank God, because
I was gonna say, it looked like he missed every single one of them.
thank God, you know,
Yeah.
he would not have walked away from that. Cricket bat then comes into play. Hook starts whacking the balls at Jericho, and you know the one that connected on Jericho's leg because he goes, "Ow!" Jesus. Walls of Jericho on Hook. I wish when Jericho's doing the Walls of Jericho to someone as small as Hook, he did the old elevated kind, because his sit down Boston Crab, it doesn't look great. It's not tight enough. It's very leaning forward, and I loved the elevated walls and the elevated lion tamer with the knee in the back of the head.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should just bring back the lion tamer.
He's done it a
It's
couple of
been-
times recently, but not
Really,
enough.
the knees are gone.
It was during the feud with Kane back in 2000 where he realised he couldn't do the elevated move on such big guys, so he just started to do the regular Boston Crab on everyone. But I don't know, on Hook should have done it. And then Hook does the walls as well, and his didn't look great either. Sit down tight and lean back, or don't do it. Loving the UK's love affair with Big Bill though. What's that about?
Oh, yeah.
Crazy over.
Yeah, considering
Maverick.
like what he used to be like, and like all the stories that came out with him once he left the Fed and stuff. He looks so good, and it looks like he's just changed his life around, and it's nice. It's really cool to see as well.
Good for him.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier for him as well, because he had a hell of a journey from like when he had I think it was like an epileptic fit backstage at an indie show.
Jesus.
You know, he had issues with alcohol and things like that, and you know, someone that's gone through that sort of shit, it's always nice to see someone be a success story. So yeah, I'm happy that he's over. I will say, I don't know if it translated to television, but there was a little bit of an Enzo chant going.
Well, Craig says bring back Enzo. Enzo and Cass are entertaining.
Why not?
They were entertaining.
His consensual penis.
Yeah, but Enzo and Cass NXT days. Oh, those were the days, boys.
When they came out and just cut a promo on the Dudleys.
That Raw debut, like that was massive. Like I don't know. I assume they would never replicate that now, but at the time, this feels like a bit of a missed opportunity from all parties at that point.
Yeah, and then they put Enzo against Neville, but like that's when Neville turned heel and he turned into Cool Neville. Before he became the bastard again, and he was like, "I'm the king of the cruiserweights," and
Cool Neville.
The shit out of people. I love that.
No, just the name, like when he was Adrian Neville, and then Vince is like, "I hate two names." Neville. Neville. Ridiculous. Well, Kimbler says, I'm assuming he doesn't do the lion tamer because it's probably hard for him to stand that way now. Surely it's harder for him to squat down rather than it is for him to stand up, but I don't know.
Did a lion salt.
Yeah, precisely. But yeah, I'm here all day for the United Kingdom loving Big Bill. It is Fandango all over again. Tell Bill to release a single now. It will get to number 1. But he's got to do it now.
Yeah, we need him to beat Jericho, like Fandango. Fandango.
Keith brings out a barbed wire board and sets it up on the table. So who's gonna go through it? Hook's T-bones are a beautiful sight, and it's a miracle. He's no longer blind.
He's not a pirate anymore.
I know.
I really understand the point of him coming out with the eye patch, really, because he already knows he's 1 against 3. What's the point of handicapping yourself further by...
It was a swerve, bro. Swerving Jericho.
It doesn't make sense when you think about it, or when you watch it the second time. It's just like, why has he done that? It doesn't make sense.
If you're looking for logic, wrestling is not for you.
Yeah, I just said, like, ladies and gentlemen, wrestling.
You're telling me there's something about this thing that's not on the level?
I think it's just so weird, though. It just, I don't know, it doesn't really make any sense at all, even like kayfabe. It's just like...
no, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. Hear me out. He knew that Jericho can fire fireballs. So just in case this eye went blind, he had this one protected.
Exactly. It was...
Okay.
I'd forgotten why he was wearing the eye patch until I saw like a recap package or something somewhere. I was like, oh yeah, that fireball. That was a long time ago. That feels like it. Craig, it's not weird to say that Hook is handsome. He's the cold-hearted, handsome devil. It's just a fact. Must have his mum's look. Oh, poor Taz. Average-looking Jones. Right. Big Bill remembers he can get involved at any time and does so. But oh no! Goes straight through the barbed wire table. Red rum on Jericho. Taz mission on Keith. To a huge ovation. And Hook gets the victory. Nice little gimmick match. Didn't overstay its welcome. Broke up the card.
See that Parmo's ready to speak. So I will say before that, the stadium went nuts for the Taz mission again.
It was crazy.
Huge nostalgia pop. Like I said, I haven't rewatched All In yet. I was speaking to Frizz, who I was with. He watched it yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, how is it? Is it worth watching?" And he just said, "Oh, that Taz mission looked like shit."
Oh, bless him. Great to see. The Taz mission. Even though Taz's WWE run from basically from the moment his debut match against Angle ended wasn't anything to write home about necessarily. No. The Taz mission move was so over. Everyone was doing it to everyone else at school.
I was going to say, you did it to your friends at school. That was one of the moves.
Well, you could do it so easily.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant.
See, I spent a lot of time watching, like, original ECW and the pay-per-views a couple of years back.
Man, so
I
good.
fucking love Taz.
Me too.
Yeah.
The fact that, we got to see a Taz mission at Wembley, and yeah, it didn't look perfect, don't get me wrong, but, It was a transmission.
All the years
And
of
then
his
fucking
all the years of his
fucking-
average commentary almost made me forget about how much I love Taz and ECW. Sorry if Parmo continue.
Oh, average is harsh.
He's great when he's not
Well,
on actual TV.
Here comes the pain.
No, I love it now, but like I said, him with Vince in his ear, even after that
Yeah.
in TNA, he didn't do it for me. And hearing him relaxed, getting annoyed at things, and singing in AEW, I love him all over again. And thank God.
He's great, isn't he?
Bobby
This-
Lashley to AEW confirmed, maybe soon, says Paul Bearer.
Hope
Maybe.
so. I hope so. I think AEW would benefit from having Bobby Lashley. Like, they've got so many big guys, Big Bill, Powerhouse Hobbs, Wardlow.
Big Bill, Big
and
Will.
None of them are like
Big Will.
what you'd call main event star material. They would need someone like a Bobby Lashley if it was just in a producer role, producer/wrestler. I'd love Big Bob in
Big Will, Big Bill, Big Bob. What a stable.
That would be his new name.
Yeah, the big boys.
Well, maybe he'll be part of this new thing Moxley's putting together.
Yeah. Hook and Taz hug at the end, and it was nice and wholesome.
And a Christian furious at the sight of a father being here to hug his son.
Yep. And my friend Todd rated it January 6th out of 10.
Great stuff. I do wish they'd retire the FTW belt now. First of all, it's not a real title, and there's too many titles. Though I would never be dumb enough to call the title a joke to Hook himself at the media scrum, which someone did. Yeah.
No, I like the FTW because it's like you says, it's not a real championship, but it means something, especially to Hook because of his dad. And don't get me wrong, they don't call it the Fuck the World Championship anymore, but
Too many belts, though.
It sits somewhere between the UFC BMF title and above the $1 million title. Like, I think it has its place.
I think that's fair.
I still think they should just do like the heavy metal openweight,
Yeah.
where literally
Seven.
anyone can go for it. That would absolutely make that belt.
Oh, Taz beating Hook. That's what I'd pay to see.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
if
should have done
only.
this when you were a boy. Kicks him in the face and pins him.
If only, dude. Okay, moving on to the tag championship match. FTR, Young Bucks, and the Acclaimed, who were faces, just out and out baby faces on the show, which was great. I've missed the raps. You want to have that rap for the live crowd in Wembley. Nothing touched the Prince Andrew line from last year, but I just find this long, drawn-out heel turn that they're doing to be scary and confusing. I don't like it.
I thought the rap this year was shit. And it felt very forced, and the EDL line was very, very forced. Especially considering they don't look like EDL members. I'm sorry, but FTR look like an older gay couple. And I can't put my finger on why.
Oh, well, man. I'd rather have an elderly gay couple living next door than the EDL, certainly. But,
Awesome.
hey, like I said, the crowd did pop for a few of the rap lines.
Yeah.
Give the Wembley crowd a rap. But, yeah, it's just odd that we're doing this slow, drawn-out heel turn. But for this show, you're baby faces. I don't know. I think the Acclaimed should have stayed baby faces for a little while longer. They were super over like a year ago. Crazy over. And now people are like, what's happening?
They need to get past whatever they're doing with them, because I don't see a split working out well for them.
No.
And what they're doing at the moment as a team ain't working either. They need to bin it, whatever it is, and then take it in a different direction entirely.
Then Max Caster saying he's the best wrestler in the world. Obviously he's not, and that's the heel heat. But it's also a little bit like, try something else. I don't know.
There's weak heel heat. It's like slagging whatever city you're off, whatever city you're in off.
Yeah, they might as well just said we've all got shit teeth.
I retweeted something. Britt Baker is a heel in England because she's a dentist. I popped. It's funny because it's true.
I've got, like I said, I'm very good at taking the piss out of entrances. I hate the Beatles, and they had not the Beatles. Yeah, well, I hate the Beatles anyway. Well, I don't hate them. I'm not a fan of the Beatles.
Have you heard Helter Skelter?
I'm just not a fan of the Beatles. I respect what they did to music, but
have you heard Helter Skelter?
Yes, I've heard Helter Skelter.
All right, I'm just checking. Because I like some Beatles songs like Helter Skelter, like the start of Revolution. Pretty heavy as fuck.
Yeah, they invented heavy metal.
They invented music, Parmo and Lord.
Whatever you say.
They certainly didn't ape any of
Bloody
this
old people.
things going on at the time. Continue.
Yeah, I hate the Young Bucks now, but they came dressed like the Beatles, up the Cody Vader, which was an interesting choice. I don't know if they've been doing that for a while, because like I said, I haven't watched the actual TV show for a while, but have they been using the Cody Vader?
The what?
The Cody Vader.
Oh, yeah. They came out of the ground. No. Well, dude, they haven't been on TV themselves. You've missed $0.
I thank fuck for that. I hope
They've
they
done
draw
it in front of a
$0.
pay-per-view, haven't they, though?
They actually, yes. Now that I think about it, they took Cody's old. I'm going to come out through the middle.
Yeah, the Cody Vader.
We've got the babyface entrance, the heel entrance, which I don't know. I thought that was perfect for the Invasion pay-per-view back in the day because you've got
from TNA.
But it's sort of acknowledging out loud that, like, backstage, okay, are you a good guy? Okay, you go out on the left. Bad guy, off to the right, please. Bit weird.
But I find most people are on the right. Well, the bad guys anyway.
But yeah.
Hi, Chris Jericho.
But no, you're right. The Bucks have been using the middle entrance, but like I said, I've not seen them for a little while. They've been away for a bit.
I did enjoy the Scissor Me Daddy to the Seven Nation Army.
Oh, yeah, great stuff. And again, give the people what they want, and they did. Anything else in the entrances, Palmer?
I do want to say this though. Like you've mentioned, whatchamacallit? Oh crap, my brain's gone.
Acclaimed.
No, Acclaimed. That's the one. My brain went there for a second. Yeah, the Acclaimed splitting up. That wouldn't benefit either of them because Bowen, I'm not sure what he's like on the mic, and Max Caster is just a far weaker wrestler than Bowen.
Greater than the sum of their parts, and
exactly.
Well, I saw a take online the other day that neither Tony or Triple H are sort of big tag team fans because sometimes tag teams get so hot they can headline a pay-per-view, and I don't see Tony or Triple H doing that anytime soon. Yeah. But the teams are the talent's there.
You said earlier about how AEW has too many belts. I think the first set of belts I would get rid of are the trios titles because they are. It's just watering down that tag division. Like we'll get to the end of the match when we get to the end of the match, but one of the big things that a mate of mine was saying was, where do we go from here? You've got the three biggest teams in this match. Are we just going to do merry-go-round of all these three teams? Because at the moment you've got people stuck in the trios division. Like
not only that, but
it doesn't flow very well.
With Ring of Honor, you've got double tag belts and double trios belts. It's
I'd
crazy.
Just get rid of Ring of Honor.
Say again, Palmer?
I'd just get rid of Ring of Honor.
They need.
They all but have. Like
yeah, I guess actually they have separated more now, which is good because there would just be random Ring of Honor belts on AEW television.
Yeah, I think they got rid of the trios titles, didn't they? Like they unified them. They unified them now, but it hasn't. You know, it doesn't. Yeah.
Well, isn't Dustin
still the same amount of tag teams and trios? Like,
isn't Dustin the Ring of Honor trios champion and the tag champion right now?
I'll double check.
He's definitely double title holder or something. But yeah, speaking of the entrances, or more specifically the gear, Acclaimed and FTR both wearing pink, black, and white, completely clashing. Come on, guys, Wrestling 101.
It's it's the second time that's happened.
Well.
He's tag champion with Sammy. Sammy, I like to make jokes on podcasts, and he's trios champion with the Von Erichs.
There you go.
Weird. They ununified them when they didn't need to be. Like, why?
It's an ununification match tonight on Dynamite.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and then there's for some reason 2 women's division belts in Ring of Honor.
Too many belts. It's not exclusive to AEW or Ring of Honor. Too many belts in wrestling. Full stop. It feels like everyone's got a championship. I mean, most of these are championship matches, are they not? Except for Max and that was
the GIC title.
Yeah. Of course. Anywho,
how many belts Tony Khan owns? You carry on.
Bucks get taken out. Acclaimed and FTR go at it while dressed the same. Bucks get some shit in. CM Punk chant. Let's move on. But then the chant gets booed. I mean, we don't have time to discuss Punk today. We really don't, because we'd be here all day. We'll do that another day.
I ain't got anywhere to be, mate. We can do 4 hours. It's all good.
It's like okay, CM Punk chant gets booed, chant stops, which is good. Punk would have injured his ears should he heard it. Not sure why the Bucks are so divisive. I genuinely don't get why the Bucks are so divisive. I have a feeling it's because Meltzer loves them, but their work is great, specifically Nick. And
actually, I will say in this match, Matt was phenomenal. Absolutely everything he did was perfect, and he was like so much more involved in this match than anyone else, and he was just really, really good.
Not a shot at Matt at all. But Nick's always the one who's jumped off of the screen more for me. I love his X Factor, little cartwheel through the ropes into the back. But yeah, they're great workers. They remind. I mean, just a great comparison is a modern day Hardy Boys, and I don't get how they've caused such reactions on either side. Like I said, I
do love it whenever people are divisive and people sort of naturally start to hate them. Then the best thing to do is heel turn, and they're better off as heels because they are dislikable looking people. like you wouldn't
just the way they look. Well, actually, Stuart, it's a great point because you don't want a team you don't want a wrestler who people are like, I don't really care. If it's one or the other, that's actually what you want. So good point.
And it's not the first time that myself and Parmo disagree, and not the last, and that's fine. I love the Beatles. So the big Sgt. Pepper entrance for the Bucks, I pop for that.
Everyone likes the Beatles apart from Parmo Lord. Just kidding.
Yeah. Like I said, they're just not for me. Update, Tony Khan has 15.5 belts under 15.5 champ
15.5.
Is that the FTR belt there?
FTW belt, yeah.
It's FTW belt, yes.
Yeah, so 15.5.
The old title, the old women's title when Lake Hall separated.
I'm going to do the Fed as well.
Did not expect the Lake Hall reference today, but that's the Hook Your Leg podcast. You never know what's going to happen.
That's why I'm here.
Double Sesame Timbers, best move name in wrestling ever. On the Bucks. Blah, 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 blah. Just talking about the heel turn there. Bucks take a ton of Germans from FDR. Nick Buck is amazing, incredible spots. His work is so great. EVP trigger to Dax from Matt and Max, and then a shatter machine to Matt from Cash and Max, mixing it up there, and the crowd were feeling that.
That reminds me of my favourite triple threat tag team match. The Authors of Pain, DIY and FDR, when they were doing each other's moves and stuff like that, and it looked. I mean, that match is probably one of the best tag matches of all time. But it just reminded me so much of that, and it popped me.
It's kind of an easy way to get a huge reaction, isn't it?
Yeah,
I got a real good reaction in the stadium as well. Really, really cool.
I really loved the Revival's tag team matches with American Alpha and NXT back in the day. I loved them.
Oh, good.
Crazy. And
team wrestling is incredible when it's allowed to be good.
Yeah. And but at least Triple H and Tony like tag wrestling a lot more than Vince, who
hated it.
When I came back to wrestling full time in like 2011, there was just no tag team wrestling on the shows, and I was like, "What's?" And then eventually,
the clones, didn't you?
Honestly, there were no teams. I didn't see the belts on TV for ages, and then I eventually did. I saw the brass penny belts, but like I said,
I'm so glad they're gone now.
We're in a much better position now with Triple H and Tony over Vince. I mean, for many, many reasons.
An update: the Fed have 17 championships.
Damn.
Is that including NXT?
Yeah, that includes NXT.
It's a lot of belts.
So NXT itself has like 5 championships. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 6. That includes the Heritage Cup, whatever the fuck that is.
Too many.
I think if you make them mean something, like they got the second tier NXT women's belt now, and it seems to be, doing all right at the minute. I quite enjoy those matches. I quite enjoy how it's presented, but it's you start seeing where championships need to go when you've got too many mid-card titles like AEW. They're mid-card. There's no tier system. There's no I want the TNT over the international, over the continental, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like they're all just there. Like it doesn't make any sense. Especially like, sorry to talk bad about War Geordie Pack, but like him being with the Blackpool Combat Club, like it seems like a bit of a thrown together trios. Like if you're gonna have to throw people together to make a trios, get rid of the belts.
At the end of the show, when Pac is just there, like, why is he there?
That was brilliant,
Yeah.
though. That was brilliant.
It's like someone said, "No, come out," and he's like, "No, I don't, it's not really." And they're like, "No, come out," and he's like, and he's just like standing there going,
Fair prick at a wedding.
I shouldn't be here. Famouser to Matt on the belt. Arrival, mic drop. Crowd are up for the Acclaimed win, but Nick breaks it up. Cash takes out the Acclaimed with a suicide dive. Nick clocks Dax with the belt. EVP trigger for the win. Bucks retain. Grizzled young vets appear, scur up to the Bucks, but then beat down FTR. So another great tag team coming into the fold.
Yeah,
Good signing for AEW if they can, obviously, we'll wait and see with tag team wrestling in AEW, but presented right, there's so many different good matches that they can have. So I'm excited for them.
And bringing
AEW does really need some fresh blood in the tag division.
Absolutely.
I'm honestly surprised that Motor City Machine Guns haven't made it.
Bring in another set of tag team belts as well. Why not? Fuck it.
Yeah,
If you've
fuck
got
it.
enough
Just have
teams.
the international tag team belts or something. I don't fucking know.
Did I hear?
Remember when WCW did that? And they had the cruiserweight tag team
God,
division.
Oh yeah, didn't AJ Styles win them at some point?
And
I
WC
think
Dub.
he was in a match for them, but I'm not sure if they won. I'm not sure.
To the
That'd have been
internet
on
once
Thunder. That's a
again.
Thunder special, that is.
Hardcore tag championship belts. Well, anyway, let's move on to.
There was a bit of a callback from last year with the Wheeler's Got a Gun chant as well.
Oh, nice.
Oh, we didn't hear that at all on
No,
TV.
didn't catch
Yeah,
that on
we
TV.
That was
Yeah.
muted.
I do have for the end of this match. Shite belt shot, shite knees, shite box.
Very short as well. 12 minutes, I think that match was.
Yeah, but that's all it needed.
Dude, if any of these
I know-
early matches went longer,
Oh, yeah,
there would have been a
I'd
crazy
believe that.
rush at the end of the
We'd
show.
all believe that.
Oh, also the ref getting pulled out, and he went literally miles. I've got ref gets pulled out and ends up in my flat.
Well, I mean, always nice to have company. Nice to have someone. As long as he called first, don't just show up.
No, I just rocked up, asked for a cup of tea. I was like, the fuck are you
Ridiculous.
like?
When
Bring
someone,
your own.
can you imagine if someone came round nowadays without calling first? I'd never speak to that person again.
Wouldn't open the door.
Just ridiculous behaviour. Okay,
Yeah.
everybody, the Casino Gauntlet, and this match.
Here we go.
I hate the
Here we
phrase.
fucking go.
Was more fun than it had any right to be. However, this match was amazing and so much fun, non-stop, bam, bam, bam. I haven't recapped a lot of spots here because it was just all happening so fast. But
Smile on my face in anticipation talking about this. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, I can't wait either.
Sorry for interrupting. Go for it.
look at all of us, like so excited to speak about the Casino Gauntlet, and who would have thought? And it's a bit of a confusing match type with the it can end at any time, even if not everyone's come out. But this time got this match over, and it starts with my favourite man in the whole wide world, Orange Cassidy, with a Mr. Bean inspired entrance.
I
Perfect.
got huge for the Mr. Bean entrance.
As soon as I saw that street, I was like, oh my gosh, no. Oh my gosh, he's doing it.
That could have been more perfect. Like,
Oh God, it was so
if I had
good.
a hat, I'd tip it to Orange Cassidy in that moment. Fantastic.
I love the man.
Thank you so much.
I love the man so much. I seriously, like, when I first started watching wrestling properly in the year 2000. Go on.
I do prefer Jane to Where Is My Mind.
Me too.
Uh,
It's a much better entrance song. But
the Mr. Bean entrance somewhat made up for it.
he should have come out to just the full Mr. Bean theme. But no,
God.
I agree.
Yeah,
I prefer
mate,
Jane.
sorry.
I love Where Is My Mind. Jane's a better entrance music.
Yeah.
First started watching wrestling properly in 2000. Didn't understand Kurt Angle's style of wrestling at the time. I was a 14-year-old who wanted to see the people's elbow. But straight away, Kurt Angle made me laugh, and so I immediately liked him. And Orange Cassidy is so funny, and he can fucking go as well. So
Yeah.
obviously on the internet, there's going to be someone who doesn't like something.
Yeah.
But
wrestling is a variety show, and Orange Cassidy 100% has his place.
But if you don't like Orange Cassidy, leave.
Yeah, off you go.
Get out. I mean it.
See what you did there.
Yeah. So number 1, OC. Number 2, Okada. Huge cheers for Okada, of course.
What the fuck was Okada
phenomenal
doing?
since joining AEW.
He's
So good.
I'll agree with what you said there. Like, I would have preferred to have seen Okada in a one-on-one match at Wembley. I feel like he deserved it, and he was front and center on that poster. I know the original poster had Edge, Adam Copeland on it, and that got changed. But Okada was front and center on that poster, and it just feels like it was a bit of a waste in the Gauntlet match on the face of it. But he was very, very good. Very, very good. And got a massive reaction. That's what you want.
What's the name of the cat, Palmer?
This is Koro.
Hello there. Welcome. Follow the Twitch account though, of course. Like if you're gonna come on the podcast, like follow the account. God damn it. But yeah, I mean, like some people are understandably disappointed that Okada's not having his 5-star banger main event matches. But again,
we got him.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. I first saw a little glimpse of this on a really old Being the Elite when they were teasing Marty Skull about going to 205 Live, and like Okada like checks him in a corridor, and Marty turns around and Okada goes, let me do that so the camera can see 205, and I was like, this Okada, great stuff. But but number 3 was Nigel McGuinness.
Yep.
To Oasis.
Face exploded.
It was amazing.
Really, really, really cool.
That was amazing.
Massively happy for him as well, because I know he's been fit for, he's been, cleared medically. I know he had hepatitis B, I think, which took him out.
Yeah, dude,
and that is, at the time, I think that was the curable one. Hep C was the one that was not curable. Although X-Pac had Hep C, and now he's cleared, apparently, ready to go. But, he obviously had, like, the crisis of confidence. I think the good story about Nigel McGuinness is he and Bryan Danielson had their tryout at WWE at the same time. And the only difference is that Nigel McGuinness told the truth. He said, I've got concussion issues and I've had knee problems, whereas Bryan Danielson probably had worse injuries than him, and he was like, I'm fine. Yeah, great.
I'm totally,
ready to go.
I'm totally fine.
Then we've got Desmond Wolfe in TNA, who was a bit of a revelation, fantastic. And this is the first time we've seen him on a big stage wrestling for 12 years?
Yeah, and he said
maybe a little bit.
He said that if he was going to come back, he wanted it to be at a show of this magnitude. So, congratulations
I know
to him.
He sort of teased it on a Chris Van Vliet podcast, said, like, I've been training for like 13, 14 months. I've been in a ring, I've done bumps and stuff like that. So it's like, there's a possibility here. And I know he wanted to do it last year.
Do we get Nigel versus Danielson at Forbidden Door next year, do you think?
Potentially.
Is Bryan still going to be going at that point?
Exactly. I'd love to see it.
Probably be a part-time one.
Yeah.
Just go for good.
I know they've wrestled once.
We're definitely going to see them
Ring of Honor feud
have a match, and it's so great that all the Bryan bashing that Nigel's been doing will have a payoff.
It's got to pay off.
Yeah.
It's got to pay off.
But yeah, fucking the Bushes as well. It's great entrance music, and so happy for him. Nige v Bryan for the championship confirmed. Joy.
Please, give me that.
Kyle O'Reilly.
In my notes, it's Nigel fucking McGuinness. Holy fucking shit. Holy balls. Holy Jesus.
everything he did. Gigantic ovation. Every little thing Nigel did, no one will ever appreciate. Even if one of us cured cancer, we won't get that kind of applause that Nigel got.
Yep.
One thing that I missed live, but I have gone back and watched that specific clip of Big Nige returning, was Okada's reaction. And like you said, Okada's facial expressions, like he knew that was a big deal. He knew that was something important. He loved hearing that big pop for Big Nige. Yeah,
I love it when you see wrestlers have genuine reactions like that, when they can't hide their smile for someone else's situation. Stuff like that.
They're all fans
beautiful.
At the end of the day.
So people who don't watch wrestling or don't get it, they will never know about how positive it can be sometimes.
Yeah.
Kyle O'Reilly in at number 4, and I was like, man, AEW's roster is stacked. And at number 5, the G1 Climax winner, Zack Sabre Jr., the man who won the G1 with a brass eye reference. What a hero. And
brass eye, he's loving it. I'm appreciating every single one of them as well.
It's just so good, dude. And
Boris Bloody Johnson,
Nigel and Zack Sabre Jr. square off, and again, huge grins on both their faces while they're going back and forth. It was just amazing.
I was very erect because that little chain wrestling, and then it's beautiful. It's like, yes, this is British wrestling at its best.
Well, we do get a "This is wrestling" chant, which is good, because for a second there I thought I was watching some kind of international jet ski competition. Nice to have a reminder. I thought I
was watching the NFL.
Well, you got the hat for it.
Damn right.
Yeah, just again, Zach, Nigel, 2 generations of British wrestlers in the ring together. England.
It come home. Wrestling came home.
Something came home, and it was wrestling.
Unlike my dad. Wait, why have I said that? I saw him the other week.
He's not going to appreciate that.
He doesn't care about wrestling, so...
I wish I had the Christian music ready to go. So it turns out I did turn the alerts off, but the audio still plays. Nice to see you, Richie. Don't do that
Richie.
again.
Do you want me to time him out?
No, it's okay.
I'm joking, don't worry.
Roddy in at number 6, Mark Briscoe in at number 7. Crowd having
pop for Briscoe.
Yeah,
Briscoe.
Always happy to see him. The crowd are having the time of their life. It's
this really, like, there's a lot of talk at the minute about Mania possibly coming to London. I know WWE been doing a lot more European shows. We've got Ash in Berlin next week. But this match right here, I think, got everyone's appetite well and truly wet for a Rumble in this country. I think it would really go off.
In the O2, though, not in Wembley in January.
No. Didn't need to be.
I'd love to.
It could sell out, actually, Rumble.
I'd love to go to a Rumble. I'd love to see a Rumble live.
Rumble's probably one of the best events they do.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. Even when I was not watching WWE regularly, I would check back in for the Rumble and Mania, at least.
Yep.
Hangman at number 8. I love moustached, wild-eyed, permanently furious Hangman Page. It's so great.
Big cowboy shit chant as well.
Brilliant. Amazing buckshot into Orange Punch, into Deadeye Spot. Great stuff. Double J, Jeff Jarrett in at number 9.
We got to hear
Huge
My World.
pop from this guy.
Yeah.
I thought I'd missed my opportunity, but yeah, got a big old reaction from a lot of people actually for JEFF, JARRETT. Very nice to see.
Ain't he great? Yeah.
Great.
But get that spooter back on his guitar. That single firework.
I'm going to add a spooter to some of my guitars.
Please do. I mean, it's the only sensible thing to do.
That's true. I've got enough that I can get away with it. I've got like another one coming tomorrow. So.
Wow, must be nice. Hangman goes for the choke on Karen, but
Hangman
luckily,
cancelled.
Ricochet makes his AEW debut at number 10. Huge ovation. So happy for Rick. Which isn't his name, but it's great.
I just don't care about Ricochet. I just don't.
He's too... Well, of course you don't. He's too floaty, Parmo.
He is. Like, we're on about, like...
No respect.
Moves being, like, impactful. Ricochet just does flips for the sake of doing flips.
No respect for the laws of physics, which you have too much respect for.
Exactly.
So, some people's criticism of Ricochet in WWE was that he didn't do enough flips, so you're never going to please everyone. Personally, I quite liked Ricochet's entrance. I think a lot of people reacted to it, even though it was kind of expected. Like announcement of his contract being signed earlier in the week. I think everyone would have been disappointed if there wasn't a Ricochet. One criticism I did hear though is maybe already, I think it was from Eric Bischoff, maybe already lost in the shuffle.
Bischoff.
And you know, Bischoff.
How's Bischoff's company doing?
Every now and then, Bischoff does have a good point, and you know, I would have liked to have seen Ricochet maybe come out at the end of the Ospreay MJF match, or
I think he's gonna thrive in AEW.
I think he's better off in AEW.
Yeah, he will
definitely.
be, and I still won't care.
Glad that he had, you know, a stint in WWE. Who knows if he'll go back there? You know, he was there for the Vince era.
And lest we forget, he was in WWE when Vince was around, and he was allowed to keep his own indie ring name. Like that's a massive thing.
Vince was so inconsistent, you know. It was crazy.
Yeah, depending on how he woke up that day about certain things, but.
That's right, Craig. These are people you interact with in the chat. I should have had names on screen, but yeah, you've got Stuart, Silent, Parmo Lord, and I'm very happy that you guys took
hey everyone,
time out of your day to do this podcast with me, guys. Thank you so much.
Mr. Tumble.
Yeah, I've written here, Ricochet is liquid wrestling because, like I said, just moves around like a.
I do understand.
As if his legs are independent from his body.
I 100% get where Palmer's coming from. Like, we haven't really seen Ricochet on the mic. We could see him getting better. Whether or not they choose to give him a bit more mic time in AEW remains to be seen. But as a wrestler, you know. There's not many people that can do what Ricochet does, and that's what makes him exciting.
I think like when AEW generally brings in someone like the Fed guys and stuff, they get shot to the moon really quickly. I don't think they're going to do that at all with Ricochet. I think they're just going to put him in, let him have his matches on Collision and Dynamite, see how things settle, and then take it from there. I think they're going to like just completely ease off on doing anything major with him.
Yeah, I agree. Which is for the best.
It is.
Yeah, definitely.
The Lost in the Shuffle comment does have merit though, because they have a lot of wrestlers, and you can only do so much.
Everyone that isn't like a top guy is going to be like that. It's just the nature of that particular business.
I can't wait for fucking Ricochet in a trios match at Wrestle.
Yeah, give him a trios belt jump. Put him with Action Andretti and
fuck.
Get him to join Top Flight.
Yeah, to be fair, that's not a bad shout.
You could be the captain.
There's always one of them fucking injured, so you'll fit right in.
Yeah, like I said, one of Top Flight, Action Andretti and Ricochet. There's your next trios championship.
Number 11, Christian. Daddy's back, double daddy. Excellent stuff.
Right, so with Christian, I literally was watching, like I said, watching that one first. I said, it's going to be fucking hilarious if Christian wins.
Let's find out. Guitar shot to Hanger. Zack Sabre Jr. is just incredible. His reversals, man. His pin reversals, his submission reversals. Really, he's made ground wrestling his own. The things that he does, I'd never seen before until he did them.
The man is a human octopus.
Yeah, the neck crank with his feet.
It's great, isn't it?
It's amazing. Like, I'm massive surprised because I don't think anyone truly predicted that Zack Sabre Jr. was even going to be there. But very nice to give him that moment as well, considering he's not a contracted talent. Very cool.
Yeah, that little thing he had with Orange Cassidy. I mean, obviously they've got history, obviously kayfabe history. Like when they were just folding each other and pinning each other, it was gorgeous. The pin he does where he leans back and crosses his arms.
Oh, on the head.
My favorite, possibly my favorite.
Because my neck would go.
Oh, my neck would.
if I did that.
And that is dickhead wrestling 101 as well. That is a pure heel move to cross your arms and do something fancy while you pin.
Well, dickhead, that's...
And make it look somewhat believable as well.
Dickhead's one of Zach's favourite words as well.
It is, he calls everyone a dickhead.
But at number 12, we've got Luchasaurus, not Killswitch, but Swerve. Killswitch wins the match for Christian.
All round confusion.
Slightly deflating end to such a scorching hot match, but Christian wins 10 out of 10, no notes.
Yeah, I have the words Luchasaurus cooked.
Put all the, what was it, 15 and a half belts? Put them all on Christian. Do it now.
Yeah! Do it, and then tell everyone that their dad's dead.
Get him a gold turtleneck as well for when that moment happens.
Very good match. You got to feel sorry for Evil Uno, though. That was announced for the match and never turned up.
Well, it's the nature of the match. He was clearly coming out at number 13. Unlucky for some, unlucky for Uno, because the match was already over.
He was too busy playing video games anyway.
Oh, he did during the pre-show though. Johnny Silver was unconscious, and Evil Uno was fanning him with the Brody Lee papers. Great stuff.
Oh, I like that.
Gentlemen, it brings us to Max versus Will for the International Championship / American Championship. Parmo shooting himself in the mouth.
I hate both of these men.
What? All right, the podcast is over. We're ending the podcast there.
No, you can't leave it on that. We have to challenge this 100%.
All right, Ospreay, I've got issues with A, because Brav all the fucking time pisses me off, and B, because of some of the history he has behind the scenes. And MJF just gets on my tits. I used to like him.
Getting work, bro. He's a heel.
I know he's a heel, but it's X-Pac heat from me.
No, how dare you.
X-Pac heat is a myth anyway. Like, true bad heat is silent, surely. Like, the fact that he gets
I wish
reaction.
people would be silent. And he's not as strong in the ring as he thinks he is.
Who?
Like, he's good.
Max or Will?
MJF. Will Ospreay, I have no issues admitting Will Ospreay is probably one of the top 5 wrestlers in ring right now.
It's very big
I've
of you.
no problems admitting that.
It's very big of you.
Like I said, with the stuff he's done in the past, and saying "bruv" every 3 fucking seconds.
He doesn't say it that much. You're thinking of that montage, that bruv medley that does the rounds.
It's not that bad, bruv. Trust me.
The cunt might as well be in fucking Green Street or something.
It's football day. Now, listen.
Football day, bruv.
You have clearly been worked by a master heel, and that's what MJF is. I've seen it. Social media is not doing brilliant nowadays, but I see a lot of I hate MJF, and none of those people have been able to tell me why. It's good that you are here, Parmo, to at least try and explain why. But going back to comedy, there is no heel that's made me laugh as much as MJF has. Like in
I think
20 years.
Again, it's commitment to the bit. Like, I completely understand why people would look at MJF and go, it's cheap heat, it's lazy, it's this, it's that. But he does it with so much conviction.
Yeah,
he's like,
a lot of it's old school heel tactics, and he does it so well. And he's doing these interviews. He will tell you he's not a character, but he does these interviews very much in character. And him talking about that he's the best. That's not. Parmo. He's working you. You've been worked.
Good heels lie all the time, even when you know, and they know, and everyone knows that it's a lie. His interview with Jack from Cultaholic, where he was saying that people don't argue in my country. Like, that's old school. I like that. I was a big fan of that.
I don't know. It's just I get he's meant to be a heel and I'm meant to hate him, but I don't hate him. I just want him to go away for a bit. I'd probably love him again.
He's just come back.
Yeah, I know. I want him to go away again. Which says something.
Personally, for me,
I will say I do think his heel character now is worse than his normal MJF character.
Enjoyed his babyface run.
I loved it as well.
And some people are saying, "Oh, he's not built to be a babyface." No, when he was going around saying, "I'm a piece of shit, but everybody loves me," that was brilliant. I love that. But now he's gone back to heel, and he's like, "Oh, I'm American." Blah, 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 blah. So I don't give a shit.
It's
mate.
really,
Go
really
away.
lazy heel heat.
Yes.
I hated it.
Congratulations, you know
This is
what
a-
passport you have.
This is a prime
Use it. Get on a
example
plane
as
and fuck off.
This is a prime example as well of AEW putting match quality ahead of storyline, which, you know, it works. People love it. Like, I've no issue with the match. The match was phenomenal, start to finish. Everything went off. Like, it was, again, bit short, but that's what happens when you have 70 matches per card in a 4-hour window. But yeah, I liked the arc of MJF's character going from dickhead heel to, you know, I'm better than you, to Adam
Dickhead
Cole
baby.
tag team, people loving him, starting to gravitate towards him, and him embracing that. And then when he came back and was immediately a heel again, like you said, Silent, like it's lazy, it's rushed, it's forced to try and get to this match. It was a good match, but if we, again, you know,
That's
more
what I
fool
think-
us for looking for logic in wrestling.
I
But
think one of
think
Tony's
that's
problems
why-
is the builds for matches usually aren't as great as they could be. The Brian Swerve one kind of didn't pick up steam until 2 weeks, but some of the greatest pay-per-views have shit builds going into it, and then they still deliver.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Craig, thank you so much for that gifted sub there. Appreciate it. Carry on. Who ever wants to speak next?
Yeah. I think what Stuart said about him coming back and just instantly being heel again when he should have been a face even just for a little bit. I think that's why I don't like him at the moment. He's just, I'm a heel again. Hi, I'm a dickhead. It's like, nah, you were fun when you were a face, and you've just got a massive pop returning. Like,
The
play on it for a bit.
The babyface stuff with Adam Cole happened so organically, and I don't
Exactly.
think anyone, Tony, MJF, expected it, and they ran with it as they should have. I bought my All In ticket last year because I wanted to hear Max bury the fuck out of this country. And yeah, I wasn't disappointed because I was so into that storyline now. Like, and I can, like, during this, the period this year before Mercedes and Will were signed, I was finding Dynamite a bit of a tough watch, and one of the things I missed so much was that MJF promo segment, because we weren't having anyone stepping up to the plate and going out there and doing a promo that interested me. And yeah, like, some of it is super cheap heat, but again, he's coming over to England against an Englishman, play up the American thing. Replacing the stars on Old Glory with MJF faces is very funny.
if you remember as well, because you were there, you were probably at the same show that I was at World Wrestling All Stars.
God.
I'm pretty sure that was one where you
Oh,
had Joey Legend, Canadian wrestling hero Joey Legend, just Joe in WWF. He come out and he started slagging off David Beckham and all this cheap heat. Like, it was fun. It was good.
There's heel work 101 that still elicits a laugh from me. I don't care how,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Local sports team bashing, and I'm not even a big sports guy. It will always make me laugh. Honestly, sometimes wrestling is kind of as basic as it has always been, and sometimes that's all it needs to be. Because
I
sometimes
am
we
a
get
hypocrite,
overbooked shit, right?
I am a hypocrite because I'm not a fan of like the foreign heel gimmick, unless they're American. Then it works perfectly.
You're not a fan of the Iron Sheik?
Yeah, as a
Calls
babyface.
everyone a bitch. I miss Iron Sheik. Like, obviously, Iron Sheik's Twitter was run by someone else, but
Well,
it was
he's still
fucking
he's
brilliant.
still someone should tell them that he's passed away, because his that account's still very active.
There's the funniest thing that I remember from that Twitter is, obviously, I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan. We had to start a new rookie quarterback, and his first game was against Tom Brady. And I'm assuming you'd all heard of Tom Brady, you know, probably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Yes.
And we battered his team, and he tweeted, "The Brock Purdy have sex with the Tom Brady wife tonight." And I absolutely went.
The poor grammar really sends that home as well, doesn't it? Craig,
Exactly.
just your message. Is this your question that you were asking about MJF earlier? I'll read it out anyway. About the Jack Jobber interview. If I was an interviewer, it would piss me off him being in character, because it makes it a battle of wits where I do not know how to react and where I have to look stupid for the sake of an interviewer rather than an honest discussion between two people. Jack is an interviewer, not a wrestler. But MJF is a wrestler, and we know that he's not a character, but he is. I appreciate the commitment to the gimmick. Live in the gimmick. You know what I mean?
It would put me on serious edge having to interview MJF.
But you know what you were getting.
Yeah, that's a massive credit to Jack as well, because Jack held his own as much as he could in an interview situation with MJF and did a phenomenal job with it. But I completely understand.
I'd be pissed. I'd be cracking up constantly.
I just wouldn't do it.
I will not hide.
A lot of people were offered it and just said, nah.
Like Jack knew sort of. I'm assuming they spoke before and said like, "I'm gonna go full gimmick." With
Well, Jack knows it. Even if he didn't get that brief, he knows it, and he called the Wrestle Talk people British fucks, and I loved it. Absolutely loved
very
it.
funny.
He's meant to be really, really nice and professional as well off camera. As soon as that red light hits, he's in, and I appreciate that as well, because there's a real culture at the minute. Not naming names, but a few of them appear on Twitch. You can work out who they are, but it's wrestlers who are like don't live up to the character enough. I do like the commitment to the.
Well, in this day and age, when everyone's, we know more than ever. Back, 30 years ago, celebrities were these mythical creatures, and we'd never find out about them really, apart from in a very carefully controlled interview in a paper or on the television. So the fact that nowadays, when people are out of character on their Twitch, on their social media, whatever, the fact that Max is so old school. I really appreciate it, and I will not hide my love for him whatsoever.
Their argument is, we all know it's a work, so why should I bother staying in character? And it's like, no, we want to suspend our disbelief. We know that there's not a scientist that gets angry, turns green, and starts smashing things. Like, we know that's not real, but we want to be immersed in it.
What do you mean?
MJF allows us to do that.
I'm as confused as
I'm sorry.
Well, Red Hulk, that one's real though.
Yeah, surely.
Right? Anyway.
Shirley Abomination.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Red Hulk is real, and don't call me Shirley. So what was your problem with Will, Parmo?
Some of the back stuff. Some of the stuff he's done in the past. Which I won't go into.
I know what you're referring to.
Yeah.
With regards to that stuff, all that stuff that was happening at the time, wasn't it like him and his ex-partner got somebody fired up? But anyway,
it's a whole
thing. But
however,
again,
Will Ospreay once sponsored by Ubisoft.
Well, once again, nobody's perfect. I love Will's work so much. I don't know how much I'd have to say. The conversation between me and him may dry up pretty quickly in real life. But and Ospreay gets a lot of stick for being not the sharpest knife in the drawer. But we've all got different intelligence levels in different areas, and his wrestling IQ. Is just ridiculous. He can do stuff that no other wrestler can, and he makes it look so easy. But we'll get into the match now, and we've all loved Assassin's Creed at various levels, at various times. I'm not the hugest Assassin's Creed fan in the world. However, the Ezio voiceover was.
I popped so hard. We had this conversation yesterday about Assassin's Creed on your stream. The date in the stream, I don't care. And I love Assassin's Creed 2. It's like my third favorite game of all time. And you don't like it, which is fair enough.
No. Listen.
You're not a fan of the mechanics.
I bought the wrong ones. I got 1, and then somehow didn't own 2 or either of the sequels. And then I came back for 3, and I was like, I'm never doing this again. I'm never doing this again. 1 and 3 are probably the weakest. I was just saying, sometimes you run up a wall when you don't want to run up a wall. That was all I was saying.
Yeah, which is fair. But like you said, the Ezio.
Oh, it's so great to hear his voice, man. It was crazy.
And all of like the ninjas and stuff, like to go off like the new one, which people have been clamoring for Assassin's Creed in Japan for pretty much since it came out. So
yeah, and I just think, the hidden blade as a weapon is so awesome. Obviously. And I love the hidden blade move as well. Great idea to use that name. His entrance attires over the years with the hood. It's a strong look, and
it is, and it works for him. And the fact that I'm assuming Ubisoft paid money for it. it worked. It's like Ubisoft had done that a couple of times this year. Sort of paid for semi-promotion because it happened at the Olympics opening ceremony as well.
Oh yeah, brilliant. Oh gosh, it's so good.
Yeah, there was a bloke running like dressed in Assassin's gear from Assassin's Creed Unity.
That's the English one, right?
No,
that's the one with the no. That's the one with no face.
No faces. Yeah, that's Unity.
The no face one.
Unity's weird because it's based in France and everybody's got a Geordie accent. It's proper weird, but you run across. It's true.
That message at the start of the game. This game was created by a group of people from different countries, ethnic backgrounds, but mostly from Newcastle, and all the people will sound.
There's an
Geordie.
Ubisoft. To be fair, Ubisoft Reflections is in Newcastle, so you know.
There you go.
It's possible, but yeah, it's a very good idea for sponsorship by Ubisoft. As much as again, don't like Ubisoft.
Jesus, Skolonsky, when can I shit on the main event? Well, you'll have your chance soon.
Fuck up. The main event is one of the matches I enjoyed.
Surprising,
you know.
but hey, this is the beautiful thing about the human race. Just crazy opinions wherever you look. Hey, but yeah, which is the London Assassin's Creed?
Syndicate.
Was it Will, or was it another wrestler who did a Syndicate style? Or am I thinking of Finn Balor way back in the day doing bloody governor, I'm Jack the Ripper?
You might be. Oh yeah, that was Finn Balor doing a Jack the Ripper thing more than Assassin's Creed Syndicate. However, there is a DLC for Syndicate. I don't know too much about Assassin's Creed. Fucking hell.
It's great.
I'm sitting out the Assassin's Creed chat. Like, I'm all for a open worldy sandbox type game, but Assassin's Creed just does have not enough hookers and gack for my liking.
So I'll delete that off the list of games I was going to send you to play.
Craig, yeah, just like when we sang Happy Birthday to you the other day, you did miss the answer to your question. And you're going to have to scroll back. We're on a tight schedule on this podcast.
You enjoyed your shit.
Silent thoughts.
Craig.
Come on, Craig. Anyway, honestly, we've got to crack on. Yeah. So, incredible Assassin's Creed entrance for Will, Ezio voiceover, break dancers, flip-de-doos, impressive stuff visually, all American MJF, looking great except for one thing, but that's just between you and me. Smashed hat. Damn streamers stuck in the rafters like last year. I mean,
never learn.
It's gonna happen.
You never learn.
Some of them are actually, getting in the way. Will had to get one out of his face during a springboard move. Don't fire the streamers straight up. Anyway, it's a minor quibble. I also just think it looks a bit naff when some of them are sort of dangling for the rest of the show. Whatever, minor.
Well, it wasn't too bad from a live experience. It wasn't too impeding, but I'm sure there are people in certain seats that would have really been annoyed by that.
It was very distracting on TV.
I was distracted live last year as well. I was like, can we not? And where's the ring crew? I know some of them are out of reach, but anyway.
Yeah.
The match kicks off. Sasuke special from Will. It's so effortless for him. You will believe a man can fly. Streamers actually getting in Will's face. We've covered this next paragraph about MJF not being a good heel. Will thwarts the Heat Seeger and hits the most phenomenal of all forearms. Standing Sky Twister from Will. I mean, Jesus Christ. Yeah, he's doing a move from the ring mat that most wrestlers need to go to the top rope to be able to get in that many rotations, and it's just as easy as blinking for him. It's crazy. Yeah. But again, no respect for gravity, Parmo, eh? The son of a bitch.
Disgusting bastard.
Second Sasuke special counted into a tombstone on the outside from Max. You think you're special because you can flip? Anybody can flip, you piece of shit!
That pile driver looked... Oh, it looked a bit botched. I was a bit worried.
The tombstone?
No, it wasn't the tombstone.
The short jumping one in the ring.
Yeah, it looked... No, hang on. It was outside the ring because Ospreay was...
Tombstone.
Yeah, it was the tombstone because Ospreay looked...
It was one of those ones where they kind of leant forward a bit, but it just makes it safer for the person taking it. And I'm all up for safe tombstones on the outside.
Same, don't get me wrong. It just looked a bit. It's like, ooh, Tugs at collar sort of thing.
Huge acai moonsault from MJF. Missed run straight into a Spanish fly from Will. Spanish fly is not one of my favourite manoeuvres. Sometimes looks a bit gash.
Spanish fly is just a flip bump.
It looks too contrived. Like, I wouldn't mind if I never saw a Spanish fly or a destroyer for that matter ever again. I don't think I even notice.
Just watch WWE because
Yeah, the only destroyer that I am happy to watch, and he doesn't wrestle anymore, P.E. Williams.
well he invented the move.
Yeah, exactly. So he should. The only person I am happy to watch it like regularly is P.E. Williams, even if he is the Maple Leaf muscle.
There's a lot of people don't like that it's a transitional move, but
yeah, no, it should be a finisher.
well, it's just what happens in wrestling, like when it's not a wrestler's finish, other extreme moves from around the industry do become signature moves rather than finishes, and it's just how it is. But I get it.
DDT.
But again, we had that tope destroyer earlier on through the table, which looked absolutely great, and they do always get a reaction. So to be fair, huge the shooting star press to Max draped on the rope again.
Oh, brilliant!
Great, and Max flew high up into the air.
I'm not a fan of the holding the rope, waiting for it to happen type move, but that looked pretty damn cool.
Looked great.
Yeah.
And like I said, Will
complaints.
Ospreay is one of the best wrestlers, one of the top 5 wrestlers in ring.
For sure.
You know what? I'd even put MJF up there as well, because everything he does looks pretty damn good.
I do think his Max is. I'm clearly biased, but I do think his in-ring work is underrated. I mean, look at the hour matches that he's had with Brian and Will.
Oh yeah.
And as a heel, he was so perfect for that as well, because he'd have banger after banger after banger. People would keep on saying, "You're shit, you're overrated," and he would go into every press conference angrier and angrier, saying, "Fucking look at me now!" Like,
yeah, but here's the thing, right? You've said with Brian and Will Ospreay, and they are 1 and 4 top 5 in-ring wrestlers right now.
you put Brian
So it's
4.
like, no, I'm putting Brian 1.
I was like, whoa!
Obviously, I'm putting Brian Danielson 1. I'm not a psychopath.
So I thought we were gonna have to have words after this, Paul.
No, I'm not a psychopath.
Stormbreaker counted into Crossroads. I thought Will had forgotten about the Stormbreaker during this Tiger Driver storyline.
Yeah.
And I've not been feeling this Tiger Driver storyline. Oh, I don't want to do this move. It's too dangerous. The hidden blade would kill a man.
Exactly.
I do like it. I like the idea behind it, but again, it's just it's an AEW thing of not enough time building up, because they build up show to show to show. Whereas, I know you're not a fan of CM Punk, Parmo, but he did mention WrestleMania on Raw a couple of weeks ago. They're setting the seeds early, and that they're making that WrestleMania build up mean something months and months in advance. Whereas we don't hear about All In until Forbidden Door's done, and it's like, okay, on to the next one.
Yeah, it is a bit of a quick transition where it's like at least the Fed build, like the whole Road to WrestleMania thing. I love it. I love like start at the Rumble, and then you've got Elimination Chamber. And
we just need to get The Rock in here.
Build.
And that's when I decided to do a good build to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
The Rock.
That's what happens. Like, now AEW have got more pay-per-view events. I think they went from 4 initially. Now they've got around 7 or 8, I think it is.
Yeah, it was like Revolution, Full Gear, Double or Nothing, and another one I can't remember the name of.
All In, All Out.
Yeah,
Shake it all about.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
All In, All Out.
We need to let them stories breathe a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I do completely agree.
Especially having like 2 pay-per-views so close to each other as well. Like, it's a bit like obviously like the pre-show match, the Willow Statlander one.
Willow!
That's gonna lead. Yes, she's wrestling Jeff Hardy. I'd watch that.
Who wouldn't? Oz cutter for 2, kicks to Max's face, spit flies right at Remsburg, who's like, there. Very funny.
Grim.
Useless referee.
Double jump Oz cutter, but Max gets his foot on the rope. Max feigns a leg injury for the second time, then hits a lovely jumping pile driver. Shot of the crowd. We've covered that earlier on. There were a lot of people there.
What is this, the pre-show?
No, yeah. Ospreay reverses a lariat into the Stormbreaker. Like I said, he hasn't forgotten about the move, which is good, and I appreciate the Stormbreaker. Completely original maneuver. Looks great. Oz cutter on the apron, but Max moves. Will eat shit. Panama Sunrise on the apron. Holy fucking ouch. Picture perfect. Count out. No. Will makes it back in at 9 7/8. Your boy's a fucking bum. Great stuff. And then God bless America. But again, no heat seeker. Eats a third Oz cutter on the apron. Will goes for a flying hidden blade off the apron. Max moves and Will takes out a cameraman, and then Ospreay's super concerned, but that cameraman knew the risks.
He had to sign
Come
the
on.
waivers.
Yeah. It's like, oh no.
See Michaels versus Taker. It happened. Right.
Oh god, that bump. That
Did we
fucking
ever
bump.
actually see an angle from that camera?
Oh no, I don't recall. They should have done though. Any time there's a camera involved like that in wrestling, you've got to cut to. But
Yeah, going to make it legitimate.
may have not been a real camera.
Remember, right? Sorry. This is going to go off a little time. Remember when AEW had cameras on the ring posts?
Yeah, I don't miss that.
That was
Yeah,
weird
no
as
one liked
shit.
it. Yeah.
But WWE's still
Sorry.
doing their ref cam as well.
They did it. I remember seeing it once, and it was very porno.
Trying new things out, which is cool. But yeah, the turnbuckle cam, they didn't seem to be able to move much because it always just captured a really bad angle, and it's like,
Yeah.
Or
And
someone's
it's like a
crotch
fisheye
following them.
lens as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of crotch. A wrestler would go up on the turnbuckle. They
A
cut to
lot
it.
of crotch.
But stretched out as well.
And now we don't get enough. It's tragic.
It would have been brilliant if they had it when Cesaro had his teeth knocked in that match against the Hardys.
God.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh no! Don't remind me about that. That was awful. Jeez. Those
Everyone
guys.
felt that pain in that moment.
Happened to Asuka as well. Suzanimal, thank you so much for that subscription. I do appreciate it. Alerts are turned off because we're on a tight schedule, and it looks like it's going to be 2.5 hours. I was like, yeah, probably go a little bit over an hour. What did I know? Anyway, in all the confusion, go ahead.
Probably going to end up being 3. No, the way
We can do 2.5. I'm convinced. In all the confusion, Max goes for a belt shot. Will avoids, goes for the hidden blade, but eats the title anyway. Max only gets a 2, then hits the brainbuster for another 2. Max misses a hidden blade, and Will shoves him into the ref. Bryce goes down. Will tries to Tiger Driver him, but eats a low blow. Will produces some brass knucks because his dynamite diamond ring was stolen. But by
MJF
who?
does that.
By this man! A masked Daniel Garcia emerges and thwarts Max's brass knucks attempts. Max turns into a hidden blade, right in the mush, according to Taz. Will hits the Tiger Driver to a huge pop for the win, and Will gestures to the sky and says either I love you, Nan, or this is for you, Nan, and really, really sweet as Nan recently passed away. Yeah, the Tiger Driver storyline's not great, but my God, that move is hard to watch.
Terrifying,
He
isn't
took it
it?
like a champ
There's
as
a-
well. He took it like Kenny almost. Like, yeah.
I would never tell a wrestler not to do a move, especially when Kenny did not appreciate those comments, but it's a scary looking move.
There's
Yeah.
3 moves in wrestling that are scary. 2 of them were on this show.
Jesus, man. Yeah. tell
The
me
other
about it.
one is the Burning Hammer, the proper Burning Hammer,
Ah,
That
the
is
Burning
not
Hammer.
good, yeah.
not the Gabby Rex one.
Burning Hammer as well. What a great name for a double team move. Absolutely incredible. Kimbler, thank you for subscribing with Prime. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you for the hype train, you guys. Yeah,
If I had one criticism of this match, I would just say, brilliant match, brilliant reaction, brilliant ending. I completely forgot about the Daniel Garcia bit. I think the run-ins are largely unnecessary, especially for big shows.
Well, you thought it was Mariah May's mum again.
Exactly, yeah.
Ridiculous.
Or
Still holding a
Paige's-
face.
Paige's mum/sister.
Oh.
But we did find out on last night's Dynamite that Daniel Garcia stole the Dynamite diamond ring and pawned it to get a ticket to London, which is just a great
That's
stuff.
They should have had Rick from Pawn Stars in the as like a little cameo there. That would have been.
I can give you about $50 for this.
Ash, thank you for subscribing as well. You guys are absolutely amazing. Really appreciate the support. Yeah, Will wins, title reverts back to the international belt. The question, though, is, guys, will Daniel Garcia be elevated from this MJF feud that he's going into now, or will he end up in the same place? Because they've made a few attempts to get Daniel Garcia up that card. Is it going to happen this time?
If he stops doing that dance, unfortunately, because I love the dance.
I love the dance.
I love the dance, but I don't think it's helping him.
It can now be your dance now, Parmo. It'll bequeath it to you.
I'm alright.
Yeah.
I don't dance. There's a reason I play guitar. I hide behind things.
I loved being behind the drums at a gig. So what a security blanket. Oh, nice.
Well,
You love it.
No, my drummer didn't leave. We finished at 3, and he potted about talking to me about bullshit for 2 hours and 10 minutes. I literally walked off saying I'm going for a shit, and he pretty much followed me into the toilet to talk to me.
He really likes you, dude. Texting you at 5, following you to the bathroom. I mean, hey, just see what you can get him to do, I guess.
I'm going to start charging him 10 quid an hour for my time.
Well, I think we'll see how good a heel MJF is, like I said, because if he can elevate Daniel Garcia effectively, then there'll be no more questions left to ask.
I'll be less annoyed at him.
Natural MJF to be the heel, though. Just MJF being MJF. That's all I want. I don't need anything else.
Yeah, like I said, the success of that babyface angle with Adam last year was a real surprise, and I actively looked forward to seeing their segment every week. It was it just made me feel so great. Also at the time, MJF retweeted one of my tweets to him about ADHD, and that was awesome. That was so fucking awesome. Again, love the guy, completely biased. Okay, here we go.
Skolunski's comment.
Huh?
I've just seen Skolunski's comment.
Which one in particular?
There's a poor owner doing the Garcia dance.
Incredible. Now, on to the real main event. Mercedes Moné versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Now, I'm just going to go into the play-by-play because I'm going to need to do that before we can talk about it. Death Spot. Speculated attitude from Britt because she was losing. I was looking for the boo-boo face today when I was taking notes, but there were some smiles. Royal entrance from Mercedes Moné mentioned how she wanted to breed corgis at the media scrum while batting away a question about her divorce. Yeah, weird question.
Very weird.
American hair, great look. And the chant we get from Taz is as follows. CEO, CEO, OC, TBS. Oh, Taz, I love you so much. I've fallen in love with you all over again. Just great stuff. But yeah, Britt showing that ring rust. She has had a long time off, serious health issues, head not in the game. But the fact is, I watched it back today. It wasn't a bad match. I've seen far, far worse. But the crowd were silent. It was like everyone had gone to grab a beer at the same time. No, not you, just no noise. Nothing was getting a reaction all of a sudden. Stuart.
One thing I will say about this, which I find very, very surprising, because it looked like she'd been booked on television, that she is, this big star. Tony Khan obviously has spent a lot of money making her the highest paid female wrestler in the world. They clearly want what's best for her, and they're putting her in positions that she's not comfortable with or that she's not good with. Like, every promo that I've seen her in has been dead silence, and this match was put in an unenviable position. It was on right after Ospreay versus MJF. It's on right before, we'll get to it, a big turn, a big return.
If you include the 0 hour as well, you're talking 4 hours and 45 minutes into the show.
Exactly, yeah. The crowd were absolutely exhausted. Like, we appreciated it when we were there because it was the one and only time that we got to sit in silence and have a bit of a chat, the four of us.
It's just finally I can hear myself think now, for the love of Christ.
There was a couple of good, little reactions that match got, and they were from Britt Baker and the things that Britt Baker did. So I won't completely dog her or pan her, but it was the fact that they booked that Tony Khan and AEW booked that match to be in that position. They must have fully expected that to be the, for lack of a better term, piss break match, popcorn match, get up, let me up match.
It's crazy.
It was a lot of people saying, you know, third from last, a big match, but Tony Storm and Mariah May in there.
Should they swap those two matches around?
Yeah, but Mariah May and Tony Storm deserved a big moment and deserved a big reaction, and the place on the card that they had got it. So, you know, it was the shit match. It was designed. It was almost placed there to be the piss break match. So I think expecting anything more than that is, you know, unrealistic.
I couldn't believe, like I said, on television, it was awkward how quiet it was. The Eddie Guerrero Three Amigos spot, nothing was getting any reaction.
I've got crowd is asleep in my notes.
Yeah.
It's weird though, because like they were moving around a lot, but nothing really was happening at all. It was just making yourself look busy while at work while skiving, basically. But you don't generally do that in front of like 50,000 people. Like, it just really stands out so much what they were doing.
I really felt bad for them because you're going to panic and, well, I would. A professional probably wouldn't. Yeah. But again, Brit's, maybe she should have, I don't know, had this match later, had a few more matches since she came back.
Take off the ring list.
It was...
And you know what? If the rumours about her and Jamie Hayter are, you know, whether they're true or not, Jamie Hayter deserved a massive reaction, and she got a massive reaction on the pre-show, way more than she would have got probably at the end of this match. It probably would have been more of a thank God rather than a oh holy shit moment. So you know,
thank God she's here. That's finally. But you know, comments online. You know, Brian Alvarez says he tells wrestlers not to go on Twitter because it'll just ruin your life. And man, after it finished live the other night, I went on just to see what people thought of this match specifically, and the comments are just so mean and saying that Britt's always been terrible. And I've really enjoyed her AEW tenure.
I don't think she's terrible at all, but she was really poor in this match. There was like, at the start of the match, there was basically a section where Mercedes was just constantly working the back. And then Britt, the one section where like Mercedes is down on all fours and Britt was about to go off the ropes to go do the curb stomp.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, my back. 2 seconds later, she goes and does it. It's like, fuck's sake, sell the back more.
It's like Spider-Man 2. She started to believe in herself again.
Yeah.
I guess so. But then like the back injury just didn't really like play a role in it again. And then Mercedes was still trying to like do work in the back spots, but it was just nothing was coming of it. It's like,
great point.
She's completely forgotten how to sell these things.
Like I said, it's a terrific point. But I
genuinely I wasn't actually like watching the majority of that match. Is that Mercedes that wasn't selling?
No, Britt.
No, Britt wasn't selling. Mercedes was working the back constantly. In fact, she had most of the offense for like the first like 5 or so minutes of the match. And just Britt, I don't know, she just wasn't selling at all. Like that ring rust needed to have been shaken off before going into a match like that. And it just, unfortunately, the rust was very much present.
I do wish the crowd had given them a bit more, but again, you can't fake it, can you? You know,
no, exactly.
It's a real reaction.
It was an exhausting experience, like going through, like you said, 4 hours of pre-show and main show.
4 hours 45, dude. Pretty much 5 hours.
Yeah, it's a long,
and that's
long show.
You know, wrestling shows can get very, very long, and if you're watching at home, you can, you know, stretch your legs, whatever you like. Yeah, but it's not always the case when you're there live. But Mercedes gets Parmo, go.
It went 17:25 as well, which it felt
too long.
That's way too long.
Horrific.
Considering the tag match went on 12 minutes.
Yeah.
It's
and then the match.
Yeah.
we'll talk about next went for less than just over 10.
But yeah,
Like, you know how I said that I had like a couple of pages of notes for some of these matches? I had 4 pages of notes for this match alone.
Holy shit.
All the things that were just completely off, and I was constantly pausing the fucking video so I could write more shit. And it took me an hour to get through that fucking match. So I wish I could have just seen it live and just gone, yeah, this was a terrible match.
Sloppy. There were sloppy bits to it for sure. At the end, it felt like they'd been told, go home now. But yeah, then trim some time off. But you can understand why Tony's booked this. You know, like Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné is a big deal, regardless of how people may personally feel about her character or in-ring work.
I definitely want to try and myself in general just avoid the whole AEW versus WWE rhetoric, but I genuinely believe there are certain wrestlers better suited to certain companies. Like the fact that Dolph Ziggler's doing great in TNA right now, it's where he should be. Ricochet, Bobby Lashley, Big Bob, if he ever turns up in AEW, I think it'd be a benefit to him and the company. Sasha Banks is better at Sasha Banks.
Dude, it's like Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
He did amazing work founding the company, but he works so much better as a WWE superstar.
Yeah. Cody Rhodes was great in Ring of Honor, great in New Japan, shit in AEW.
It wasn't just that stipulation where he couldn't ever go for the title. There were things that never fell into place with Cody in AEW. Anyway, Mercedes gets some heat by working the crowd, getting on Camille's shoulder, saying Britt will never get the championship. Crowd wakes up for the backbreaker on the turnbuckle. That's pretty nice. A few scattered DMD chants, but the crowd's deadly silent. It's awkward. No reaction to the three amigos. Double knee drop from the bottom rope to Britt. No reaction. I feel like Britt could have done more to drum up support from the crowd. She should have shown a bit of babyface fire, but I think it was just, oh my god, this is awkward. Let's get our head down and get fucking through this. This goes on for 16 more minutes. Avalanche body slam though was nice.
One highlight of the match.
it was really nice. And then, of all people, Camille starts getting the crowd clapping along by banging on the apron. I was like, Camille, you shouldn't have fallen to her.
She is a very tall lady.
She's tall, and on this night had more ring awareness to work the crowd.
Anyway, credit's due.
Because she was in NWA for a long time, wasn't she?
I don't think I'd ever seen her before, so I'll take your word for it. They go for a variation of the curb stomp into RKO from Mania 31. I was there for that. One of my favourite spots of all time. Doesn't get the height though, and it's into a power bomb. Mercedes gets a 2, then eats a diamond cutter. Crowd applaud politely.
That power bomb was botched as well.
It didn't look.
Yeah.
It didn't.
She
look
had an ankle,
perfect.
and that was it. And I thought, fuck, that actually could have been an injury.
I will say it didn't look perfect. Could look a lot worse. Didn't look perfect. Mercedes misses the Meteor in the corner. Michael Cole's gutted that he couldn't scream it out even though he wasn't there. Neck breaker from Britt. Sling blade double underhook face buster for a 2. Crowd pop for Mrs. Socko. Tries to apply the lockjaw, but Mercedes turns it into a Regal cutter, an underrated move. I fucking love the Regal cutter. Oh yes. Mercedes puts on Britt's glove. Britt gets the air raid crash, as Excalibur called it, but it looked more like a beach break. Britt gets her glove back, almost turns into a Drew Punk feud over a bracelet. Avoids the Monet Maker, but takes a backstabber. Then we get dueling CEO and DMD chants, which were quite loud. The crowd were starting to come awake by this point. Mercedes goes for a
Red Bull.
Yeah, exactly. Mercedes.
It just needed a few more minutes.
That's exactly why they were quiet at the beginning. They all went to buy Red Bull from the concessions.
Mate, every single match, and I'm sure it happens at every wrestling, but every single match, while the entrances are happening, people scurry off to go to the toilet and scurry off to go get food and stuff like that. The Mercedes Britt match, it was biblical how many people exited to go and get I just couldn't believe it. But I could believe it.
Mercedes goes for another second rope body slam, but Britt reverses it into almost like a power slam. They do a full 360 rotation. Crowd loved that. I did too. Mercedes then goes for a belt shot and actually hits Paul Turner, but it's not the planned spot, so he just no-sells it. Second Eddie spot. Britt drops to the mat while Camille is holding the New Japan Strong title and Camille is ejected. Crowd are fully awake now and appreciated at that moment. Panama Sunrise from Britt looked a bit delayed, but to be fair, Mercedes was a little too close to the corner, so there was kind of a delay after the jump down into the Destroyer. Then a curb stomp from Britt gets a 2. Britt gets the lockjaw, but not completely, as Mercedes is able to bite down on those digits, and as we all know from McFoley's book, when you hook the mandible claw in correctly under the tongue, you paralyze the nerve, so you cannot bite down. Feels like they were told to go home immediately as a strange exchange of backslides happens. Mercedes throws Britt into the ropes, pushes her down to the mat, just hits the Moneymaker and wins. And the crowd are just completely off guard, as was I.
Yeah, I've got this. That was such a flat finish.
Part of it is the finish. The finishing move.
Terrible as well. I've never been a fan of it.
That was one of the best times it's ever looked, and it's not.
It's still bang average.
I can see what she's going for, and it's always great to innovate a brand new move in this day and age. But it's. I don't know,
when people are kicking out of destroyers, though, you can't be having that as your finish.
It's good on paper. Good on paper, but. Yeah.
I like that Britt hit a Panama Sunrise because it's a move we haven't seen for a while because obviously a fella's been out injured. So it's nice to see that move again.
But don't forget, we saw it in the previous match from Max to Will on the apron, and I had no problem with this specific thing, but yeah, that's one good thing about agents. Communicate beforehand so we don't see the same spots over again, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a point there with actually the MJF man. Is that he did hit like moves from his previous friends like Adam and obviously hit the crossroads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I liked that. That was cool.
You like him, really?
Nah, I don't like him as a heel right now.
And
as a babyface.
And the job of an effective heel. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, let's talk about a good match again.
But was it that bad? Was it that bad, or was it just?
It was the weakest match on the show.
It was the weakest match on the show.
I hated it the first time, and I hated it even more the second.
Oh no! Mate, well, third time's the charm. But you can put it on after.
There's gonna be no third time, I assure you.
Is there anything in your 4 pages of notes that we've missed out on, Silent, that you want to bring up now?
A lot of nitpicky stuff, but I mean, none of it's positive in the slightest.
I think just a lot of things. A lot of things collided at once. Death spot, ring rust, tired crowd. You know.
I wish it didn't happen. I really did. Like
it was bad, but something has to be in that spot. And you know, if I'm going to say one thing positive about it, it didn't disappoint because
surely at that point
expected it.
Something does have to go in that spot. And you could go, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 15-minute intermission. Stretch your legs, go to the toilet, get some tendies, whatever you like. People would probably really appreciate that.
Ladies and gentlemen, 15-minute Fozzy show.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would much rather have had Fozzy for those minutes.
Oh, no.
Like, genuinely.
Yeah.
This is being broadcast, Silent. Think about what you're saying.
Yes, I will go on record. I would rather watch Fozzy than that fucking awful match.
Well, let's move on.
That's a damning indictment.
I
If
know.
ever there was one.
Oh man, I mean,
I've had to watch it twice. I'm dealing with things here.
I'm sorry. I feel bad now. Moving on. Darby Allin, Jack Perry, coffin match brought to you by Taco
What a great
Bell.
fucking match! Holy
Yeah,
shit.
I love death matches.
It was great, and they had not a lot of time, so very compact. Things didn't have a lot of time to breathe, but it was kind of like a really like you know the equivalent of a video game you can pick up and play for 10 minutes and move on. It was great, and speaking of the Taco Bell joke I made there, because I was reminded of it in the promo package beforehand, I much prefer the way AEW's way less egregious use of advertising, because they could have got a different sponsor for each match like Mania, but they didn't, and I really, really appreciate that.
It's a match that certainly served its purpose. It was a thing. We could sit here and complain and be negative about things and say AEW's got too many matches and it wasn't long enough, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. But for what it was, it served its purpose, I felt. One massive positive I will say, I'm not a big fan of Jack Perry. However, when he brought the glass out and the look on his face and the crowd reaction it got,
it's so great,
when the crowd realised what was happening and the reference, and when he realised that the crowd realised, and the shitty in sort of smug Mona Lisa type smile he had on his face, it was perfect. Like, it was a really good spot.
Well, you see a lot of comments like, oh, you know, Punk living rent-free in his head. Well, it's wrestling. This stuff has got heat. He's using it to make money. It's smart, and it's what you do.
I'm not a fan of them showing the footage on Dynamite. I don't think it helped anyone.
That was really weird.
Yeah, really strange.
We learned.
It did stop people talking about it afterwards. Like, we had a week where people were only talking about it, and nobody said a damn thing about it since.
That is very true.
It was. We didn't learn anything new, and I was just, after they showed it, I was kind of like, huh, okay.
Yeah.
But hey.
Where they've gone from there has been very good. Like, with Jack Perry's character progression and everything he's gone, like, it has worked somewhat. Like, yeah.
Jack's doing great right now. Punk seems a lot happier in WWE, but we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. Well, they're doomed if they do, and they're doomed if they don't. Like,
precisely.
We slag off. I slag off when they, showed the footage and reference it every week. But if they never reference it at all, and like you said, Simon, they'd still be people would still be talking about it. So
for sure,
yeah, it served a purpose. But it wasn't the main thing, was it? It wasn't the main thing that happened. It's what happened after the match is what we're going to talk about in a second, I'm sure.
Yeah, let's get into this match. Tack faced Darby, and his entrance was done quick. Yeah, a little tribute to Pinhead there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when you pay someone on Flavor to remake Hellraiser.
He's a maniac. What are you doing? I'm just gluing drawing pins to my face.
Happened very sudden. It was almost like when we sat there live, we just sort of like, I think it was about a minute later, we're just like, has he got fucking pins in his head? Like,
it feels like the sort of thing he would do is peel off his own skin to put pins through it.
Yeah, come on, Darby. 8 out of 10. Try harder next time. Scapegoat Jones from Taz, Jack with goat mask and body bag.
That looked so fucking cool and all. Also, during this match, I did look it up. You can, in fact, buy body bags on Amazon.
And how many of you? What? The fuck? That's great news.
How much?
They're about 20 quid.
I kind of hope they don't sell too many of those.
Bulk buy from Costco though. You want to get a set.
You want to get a Costco card and just start buying body. That's probably where the NHS got him, to be fair.
A goat mask could look really shit, but that one looked pretty damn good, I have to say. And now, that's the action figure right there, complete with ghost mask, body bag, and coffin.
It was a little bit pagans from Dragnet, though.
Yeah, no.
Wasting no time because they don't have any. These guys get right to it. Tack face to Jack. Drop kick from the top rope to outside to a seated Scapegoat. Darby tries to get Jack in the coffin, but the son of Sideshow Luke Perry strikes back with shots to the face, but gets stung by the tacks. Darby goes for a suicide dive. Darby's suicide dive is my favourite. He just fucking got no regard for his own safety. Like a fucking wrecking ball. I love it so much.
Sorry, Sideshow Luke Perry is a fucking cracking reference as well.
I mentioned in the Discord the other day, Krusty's his uncle, and I'm like, they need to mention that more times on TV. Are you ready, son of Sideshow Luke Perry?
I believe you'll find that's El Hijo Sideshow Luke Perry.
But flies straight into a vertical coffin, the vertical coffin. And we're like three minutes into the match, and Jack already gets out the glass, real glass, to "Oh, cry me a river" chants. And again, we get the "fuck CM Punk" chant, and Jack's just soaking it up. Good man. Yeah. I'm happy for him because
for a match that was short on time, that was perfect time to just stand there and soak it up. So
Yeah.
I think this is the the early first really good run of Jack Perry.
As much as I love hearing Tarzan Boy, it was time for him to graduate from that. And this whole incident has given him. There's a net positive coming out of it. So
yeah,
he's got so much charisma now just from a smug grin. That's it.
A smug grin and a beard.
I know. Stealing my gimmick. Darby takes a spill from the top to the outside. AEW chant. Do you think we'll ever get a WWE chant? What's going to happen for that time?
Doesn't flow. NXT is as good as you're going to get.
Yeah, like NXT and Dubs, like Dub C Dub doesn't really flow either. Like EC Dub flows.
It's the chant the Underdog Wrestling Federation gets, whoever that happens to be at the time. Jack tapes Darby's wrists together. There's blood on the camera, and Darby hits a coffin drop to Jack on the outside. Great stuff.
That blood. I know it was obviously an accident, but that blood on the camera just made it look so much better.
It's a nice little touch, and yeah, Darby's bleeding on only. I don't know how he pulled this off. On the side of his face without the white makeup, so it's white and red, and it was a great visual. They brawl up the ramp. Darby takes a sickening sounding powerbomb. Ouch. And then Jack ties Darby's legs together with a belt. So now he's completely incapacitated, and he gets thrown off the stage through a pair of tables. And it's like, go, go, go. In the body bag, into the coffin. Undertaker sit up from Darby, but he eats a running knee, and the coffin is slammed shut, and Darby loses his first ever coffin match.
Second coffin match.
There's been more than 2?
Oh, is it? Are you saying he's lost his first coffin match? Or this was?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I was gonna say he has won one. He won one last year in London.
Yeah, and there was yeah, and they've done at least 3 to my knowledge. But yeah, the commentators, I never lost a coffin match, hammering that home through the match. But Bucks come down to ringside with a tank of petrol. They douse the body bag and exterior of the coffin, and Jack produces a lighter. But wait. It's Sting! And again, Tony just he's a retired wrestler.
I will always love seeing Sting live. Like whatever context, if he just came out, if he came from the rafters, if he came just walk down and wave to the crowd, fine. Mm-hmm. Love me some Sting.
Yeah.
What really made this for me is that one of the people that we were with, it was actually his first ever wrestling show.
Nice.
And he was growing up a Sting fan, and he was just sat there the whole time going, please let Sting come out. Please let Sting come out. So to live vicariously through that person, seeing their reaction to an icon walking out, it was magical.
The icon.
I loved it.
For you and me, Stuart, World Wrestling All Stars, the only way was up. Yeah. How's the next show going to compare to this? Is your first live show? My God,
we got to have something big like Danielson versus McGuinness, like.
Please.
Well, I mean, there's we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
There's something sort of like, because obviously Sting had his music in TNA and had his normal music in AEW and stuff like that. There's something just special about when he comes out to Seek and Destroy.
Yeah, it's so great.
Like I was watching it last year, and obviously you had that whole that whole little vignette where he turns out he's dressed as Joker Sting.
Hello, bloody governor.
As a massive fan of like Joker Sting and like TNA at that time, as much as it was bollocks, fucking that popped me. And then he comes out to Seek and Destroy, and I just fucking scream.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's
it
amazing.
is slightly bittersweet though, because every time he comes out to Metallica, just reminded of the fact that when Triple H and Undertaker had their Hell in a Cell match, and I think it was the Memory Remains when Metallica was playing. Like it just reminds you every time that we're still never going to see that Undertaker versus Sting match.
God damn it!
It happened. It was just.
I would take a boneyard.
It was just.
I would take a
40
boneyard
years
match,
ago.
like Cinematic Sting Undertaker match.
What was it? Mean Mark Calloway match, was it, Palmer?
Mean Mark Calloway, yeah.
Oh God. But yeah, dude. The Mania I was at, 31. I was happy to see Sting, and I got it was tick because NWO are coming out, DX are coming out, but it should have been taken, and that match is never going to happen. Oh well.
However, the thing is with Mania 31 is probably top 3 WrestleManias.
Yeah, I go so yeah.
Thing with that match, and the match that happened with the Undertaker should have lost that match against Bray Wyatt to
Oh
sort
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
pass the torch of spooky bollocks.
Yeah, and the streak was over. So what did he have to lose?
Yeah, exactly.
Odd.
Just give Bray the spooky bollocks.
Odd decision for sure. Yeah, the crowd loses it. Seek and Destroy plays. Not the shortest wrestling retirement of all time, but still quite short.
Well,
Sting.
He wasn't in the match. He's still
I
retired.
know. Sting cleans.
So I'll just say, like, if that was real petrol, then Darby would be dead from the fumes anyway.
Cry me a river. Real petrol. Richie gets it.
Wouldn't be the first
You
time they tried to
can't
play
kill
somebody.
Darby.
You can't. That's true.
True.
Sting cleans house, saves Darby from a fiery death, and we're on to the main event, people.
Yeah.
Here we fucking go.
A casual
Right.
2 hours and 40 minutes later, we've reached the
I've
main
been
event.
waiting. I have been waiting 10 years just to see Daniel Bryanson, Brian Danielson.
Daniel
live.
Bryanson, that's what I call him when
Daniel
I'm joking.
Bryanson. I got tickets to SmackDown in 2014, and it was, I'm pretty sure it's 2014, so it would have been after WrestleMania 30 when
Yeah, when he had to
won the belts.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the biggest thing, the hottest act in wrestling. Every single crowd, wherever you went, was doing the yes chant. And they ran the O2 Arena Monday Night Raw, and then a SmackDown taping on the Tuesday.
I think I was there for both of those.
Really?
Yeah.
So you would have seen then, it was him on Monday with the big trophy, well, not trophy, but like big yes chants, everyone going nuts.
So good.
Tuesday, SmackDown, we got Hulk Hogan.
So
Gutted.
double win.
Absolutely fucking fuming with that. So I've been waiting 10 years just to see this cunt live.
To be fair, oh, I know. God, Hulk Hogan's cancelling came like, oh no, that was a year later. I thought I was going to say it was a couple of days later, but yeah. Ah, damn. Sorry, dude.
No one wanted to see Hogan. People were there for the yes chant. People were there for the crowd interaction, and we got none of that.
It was a shame Brian was not there last year. I've seen him live a couple of times, but
exactly. He wasn't there last year.
This match was it was apparently supposed to be Kenny and Brian one-on-one last year, and I would have loved that because I was desperate to see Kenny, and that's the only time that I've seen him in that 6-man tag last year, and he didn't do a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So hopefully, come Forbidden Door, we've got a healthy Kenny going at it in a singles match.
Right. I know you're getting to the entrances now, but I'll say Swerve. I'm a big fan of Swerve. Like,
he's the
really,
fucking
really
coolest.
He's had every single title match he's had has been phenomenal. It hasn't disappointed. And I said to the people I was with at the time, I was like, whether he wins or loses, and he's probably gonna, whatever. He deserves this big championship entrance on a big stage, and I couldn't have been happier for him, really.
Yeah, man.
I still can't believe that WWE saw nothing at all in him. Nothing.
I mean,
like, even if they didn't release him and he was still there under Triple H, he still wouldn't be where he is now.
That's true enough.
100%.
That's 100% true.
Even the stuff when he got there, when he was tagging with Keith Lee, it was great.
Oh yeah,
he proved his worth. 100%.
Well, that when Acclaimed were at their hottest, it was Acclaimed versus Swerve in Our Glory, and they should have called the audible and switched the titles then and there. But that match was amazing, and again, the crowd on fire. Well, believe me, WWE are certainly paying attention to him now. I mean,
oh yeah,
he's just re-signed, of course, to AEW, but we may see him back there. I mean, we'll see MJF. I reckon. I'd love to see MJF in WWE. I think after this next run in AEW, it'll certainly be time for a change, and I hope Max.
Imagine.
To be fair, in the MJF match, he was kind of already auditioning for WWE anyways.
Oh, he's been from
Tombstone
day
outside.
one.
He did the Rick Rude gyration. What else did he do? He came out basically dressed like Lex Luger.
Oh yeah.
What was the other thing he did? It was
Crossroads.
Oh, the Crossroads, yeah. So he basically did all this WWE stuff in that match.
And
as
don't
well.
forget-
It's like,
Yeah,
you want to leave.
That AEW tattoo he's got is can easily be covered up by a sock.
Oh yeah, Easily hideable.
Do we even know if it is actually real or not?
Oh, it's got to be real. I mean, the company clearly means so much to him, but he got it in a very sensible place rather than like here or.
Imagine the heat he's gonna get if he randomly gets his AEW title in the middle of a WWE ring.
Oh, you're a genius. Like I said, I hope he can thrive in WWE. We won't know until it happens. But imagine the heat pointing at it. No, but I don't know. They would crucify him if he did that.
Remember where I came from.
Because they don't fuck around. They don't mention AEW at all. They waited 20 years until TNA got an actual mention by Angle on WWE TV.
That popped me as well. Just I hear TNA's hiring.
It did, but it was also
brilliant.
it was also at that point where that company's definitely not a threat anymore, and now we can mention them. But hey, whatever.
I know they're working together, and it's brilliant.
They are indeed, and put all the belts on Joe Hendry now. Let's crack on with it, guys. Bryan Danielson. Before we crack on with it, though, actually, Bryan Danielson's daughter wants him to stop wrestling so he can just be a dad. Selfish. Remember when we told our dads, "Come on, Dad, quit your job, hang out with me all the time"? Well, no, I can't do that because we'll lose the house. Selfish child. Anyway.
See, that wouldn't have bothered me because I didn't live with my dad, so.
But also, we've known him longer, Birdie. Pipe down.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah, he was our dad before your dad. Shut up, child.
Ridiculous. The attitude. But yeah, very, very sweet. Many sweet moments with Bryan and Bree and Buddy and Birdie. Huge final countdown sing-along, Stuart. That must have been amazing.
Oh, what a moment.
What a moment. Feeling the chills watching it on TV a second time, you know? Just that was when I was like, God, I live close to Wembley, maybe.
I think it's like because it's so sporadic that it's used. It's the same with Seek and Destroy with Sting. Because it's used so sporadically, it just works. It just pops people so much better. And
they can't use it They can't use it every day either, because
even TK isn't going to pay out for that.
It was great as well on the media scrum afterwards. Bryan said that he saw it on the list of the top 10 worst songs ever, and then thought, that'd make a hell of an entrance. And now it's become this thing. And he said, Tony, I mean, have you shown them this footage? Because might get some money knocked off that price. Because Europe famously charged the most. But hey, when you're a one-hit wonder like that with a song like that, do it. Fucking do it.
To be fair, Metallica's not much better from what I've heard.
I'm surprised. After that Napster debacle, I'm surprised. Like I said, the story of this match, Bryan's family, and it was great. Sweet moments. Just one of the stuff.
Swerve did not hold back either.
It was amazing. Swerve asking in the match, "Why would you do this to your family, Bryan? Why would you do this to your family?" While he's kicking him in the head. Great stuff.
But talking about family, Swerve now owes him a 10-second car.
What?
It's a Fast and Furious reference.
Fast and Furiously flew right over my head. But hey, that's why you guys are on, so I can learn. Like I said,
young.
Second time watching this entrance with the biggest smile on my face. Like, how can you not love Bryan Danielson, Bryan, Danny, Bri. JR joins the commentary team for this main event, and good for him. He had a few great additions there. Swerve looking absolutely sick in black and gold regal attire. Amazing live rendition of his song, a new remix. I saw him post it on YouTube recently. Crowd loving Swerve as well as Bryan, as they should. Bryan's family gets name checked in his intro by Justin Roberts, and it's just so lovely. And I'm starting to question Birdie's integrity, because she's loving it. Every time she's on camera, she's having a whale of a time. She doesn't want him to come home. No, Dad, you're all right. He's like, I'm going to go on TV and say that you want me to retire. And like, no, Dad, seriously. Like, we have a blast when you go. It's movie night with Mum. It's great, and you bring us home presents. Keep wrestling.
We get to eat McDonald's.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Nana did the dance.
Oh my God, the dance.
Nana doing the dance. I said earlier, Daniel Garcia doing the dance takes away from his character. Nana doing the dance while Swerve just walks like
I love it.
like the coolest motherfucker. It's the best.
I know, because he's doing his own thing while his lackeys do that dance, and
every single person at that stadium as well was doing the dance along with him. Like, it felt like such a grand event. Both big entrances, amazing.
The one when he came out with the Jacksonville cheerleaders, and they were all doing the dance with Nana. I can't remember what event it was.
Did you see the one yesterday? The one from Dynamite?
Nah,
They were coming out to, have a face-to-face with Hangman to continue that, and you just see the look on Nana's face was like screwing, like dirty look, but still professional enough to be doing the dance.
I love that. Nana just adds to the character as well.
Skolonsky asking, did anyone think Bryan Danielson was going to lose this match? I definitely thought he was going to win because AEW do stick to their stipulations for better or for worse. That stip hurt Cody's run, and he had to leave. But and also, sorry, the nature of the podcast, we don't get to address as many comments. But guys, thank you so much for being here and for commenting.
Yeah, thank you.
I really appreciate it. Okay, big grin on Swerve's face because he knows they're about to light this place up, and they did. Side headlock takeovers. Side headlock takeovers, big chops to kick things off. Bryan goes for the label lock early, but Swerve sends him outside. Swerve does that beautiful leap over the top rope into like a handstand on the apron and then to his feet. I could never ever do that.
Unique. So unique. No one else does that, and it's
wonderful.
A simple-ish thing to do,
So great,
but
though.
works so perfectly, and it looks so smooth as well.
And but Bryan, Swerve does that beautiful handstand limp. I can totally read. To the outside, but gets hit with a beautiful plancha from Bryan, followed by huge yes chants. And it's so great. You love to see it, considering he refused to do it in AEW for so long. Kevin Dunn retires. He's like, I'm doing it. And good for you. Like, you should do it, Bryan. It's a great, like, Bryan in AEW, the perfect kind of combination of his Ring of Honor indie persona before WWE with the grandeur from his WWE character, the yes chants. It's been great. He's been very, very selfless in AEW and put over a lot of people. He said in the media scrum that Tony Khan had to drag him kicking and screaming to a title match like this, but I'm so glad that he did. Bryan does his comeback from the 2K games, but gets cut off by Swerve. Beats down Bryan, keeps him down. A slow, methodical dissection from the champ. The crowd do not stop cheering for a single second throughout this match. Night and day with the Mercedes and Britt match. Bryan takes a nasty looking Death Valley driver onto the ring bell on the apron. I'm like, dude, ouch.
Why was he bleeding from the front?
Because because well, in the media scrum, because he had Birdie on his lap, he said, I had a little, when I had all the ketchup on my face. I'm like, that's so sweet. And I would do that, but it's like, well, what's that red thing on my face? Daughter of mine. Well, basically, I take this blade on like that. What do you think of your dad now? Terrifying.
The crimson mask that he had at the end looked fucking incredible. It just added so much.
It does. And we had, like, I'd forgotten what it felt like to see blood in wrestling because there was such a long time without it. Maybe Jon Moxley bleeds too much, but
maybe
it elevates matches like this. It like nothing else in the match can. But yeah, completely covered in ketchup, delicious. Swerve questions why Bryan would do this to his family. Why would you do this to your family, Bryan? And I just love, like I said, how pivotal they are in the story of this match. Swerve locks eyes with the Danielsons, drags Bryan right in front of them and gives him Bryan's own stomps to thunderous boos. The children cower. I love it. Bryan reaches to his family while Swerve sets him up for an avalanche Olympic slam and hits it. Swerve goes for the Swerve stomp, but Bryan beautifully reverses it into a regal stretch and doesn't get called the regal stretch because Regal just fucked off in the middle of a storyline. And Swerve's one of those wrestlers where just the little things, everything he does looks good. He kind of does this double kick to get up, and it just such a small thing, but I really, really appreciated it. Bryan starts to make a comeback with the crowd willing him on to win, gets 2 corner drop kicks, but takes a flatliner / self rock bottom. Bryan goes for the cattle mutilation, but Swerve gets to his feet, only to take a tiger suplex. Yes kicks, and the crowd is so loud. Hits the big roundhouse to the head, and Birdie and Buddy are loving it. It's like loving it. It's great to see. Tiger suplex from the top. Jesus to Swerve, holy shit. Gets it too.
That was very anxiety inducing. Whenever you see a move be done like that, you're like, oh please don't get hurt.
Nice and safe though, but yeah, when they're up there, you're like, God, don't die.
Yeah.
You know, like some of the
them ropes look really loose at the start of the show. I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Stokely was going into the ropes, and they looked very loose. Yeah. So hopefully someone tightened them up before all that happened. But
thank God we didn't have any incidents for sure. But yeah, those dragon suplexes that you see off the top rope in New Japan, my God. I mean, I love to see it, but you're knocking 5 years off your career. But again, wrestlers. Continue to do what you do. We thank you for your sacrifices, my God. It's time to kick Swerve's fucking head in and then into a cattle mutilation. Swerve then delivers a nice and safe looking vertebraker, and I thought Bryan was teasing a seizure teaser I've got written here, and the EMTs are checking on him, but it was more for concern over Bryan's neck because he legitimately needs that neck surgery. Swerve stomp, but Bryan kicks out. The crowd goes wild, and the house call to the side of Bryan's head. I love that kick so much. It's great, isn't it? Bam, out of nowhere. Bryan will not stay down, and then it's another house call. Let's go Bryan chants, or it sounded like a Daniel Bryan chant. Was there a Daniel Bryan chant, or was it Let's Go Bryan?
It might have been Let's Go Bryan. That one might have flown over my head. I might have just been standing there grinning like a
just in a trance, in a daze. Third house call, and the dejected announce team kind of accept that it's over, but no, Bryan kicks out. Yes kicks from Swerve. Bryan no-selling the kicks from Swerve whilst looking at his family, and in between each kick he's saying, I love you so much. I was like, fuck man, this story is great.
Hollywood Bryan Danielson was hulking up at that point.
It was so good. With the power of love from his family, he managed to absorb every single kick, slaps Swerve across the face, and then kicks the shit out of him. Gets Swerve into a triangle and hammers those elbows in. Takes Swerve down with a side suplex, I should say. Busaiku knee, which since he delivered the Busaiku knee to John Cena at a SummerSlam when Triple H was the guest ref. Since then, it's been one of my favourite finishes in wrestling.
It's so good, and it got so protected in WWE as well, and I think that's not to its detriment at all.
And it was got that great element of a finisher that can be done like the house call, like the stunner, quick. Whoa, where did that come from? Kind of thing.
Yeah, like Drew McIntyre's finisher as well.
Oh yeah, anything
he just,
like that.
Oh, lol, I'm going to kick you in the face now.
But for this first Busaiku knee, Swerve literally brushes it off, and if all wrestling moves weren't sold, it would be a problem. In moments like this, it works so well.
It worked.
He brushes it off and then just hits a fourth house call, and it's great. Swerve glares at Bryan's family and hits big pressure, and Bryan kicks out, and Wembley loses its collective shit. A wild hangman appears and takes out security and Nana, but security swarm him and get him out of there before he can disrupt the match any further. But a distracted Swerve turns around straight into Busaiku knee for a 2. Bryan and Swerve exchange forearms, kicks, and headbutts in the center of the ring. Bryan hits a third Busaiku knee, leads the crowd in a huge yes chant, hits the fourth Busaiku knee to the back of Swerve's head. Bryan goes for the label lock, but Swerve resists, so Bryan breaks his fingers, applies the modified label lock. Swerve taps. Bryan refused to quit. Bryan refused to die. Bryan is your AEW champion.
It was brilliant.
Fantastic. Phenomenal. Can't say enough good things about it.
What?
Swerve hit a vertebrae breaker, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yep.
Yeah, that's when I said there's 3 moves I wouldn't take, that's the third one. That was terrifying. It looked fucking terrifying.
Well, that one was as safe as you could make the vertebraker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it done a lot worse.
But again, it's
Oh yeah.
it's one
But
of
it
those
still
moves
looks
where you're like,
terrifying.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
from some angles, that's still gonna look really, really horrible. But it
yeah.
was really, really.
Oh
safe.
yeah, 100% safe.
Like you said, Parmo, I would not do it. There's a reason why a lot of people in WCW refuse to take it from Shane Helms. Like, just no.
absolutely incredible. I mean, there couldn't have been any other ending for this pay-per-view, because you're sending that crowd home. Well, Stuart, happy as fuck.
Yeah.
Just wonderful stuff. Moments like this are like, this is why I like wrestling, right? This is why we watch it.
I think to AEW's credit, like as someone said in the chat earlier, like, did anyone think that Danielson wasn't losing? Like, it really wasn't about that. It was about the moment, the atmosphere, everything that happened. Mm-hmm. He is, as he says, the best fucking wrestler in the world in a massive show.
And it's not close.
Yeah, one of the things that AEW really excelled in back in the early days of AEW is taking the ex-WWE people and not rehashing their shit, like really righting some wrongs. And this felt like a massive wrong that was righted that evening. He won the championship in a big match. He had his wife with him to celebrate and his kids, whereas I think they wouldn't allow Brie Bella in the ring at WrestleMania 30. Like, that was a massive misstep. Like,
and also he had to be dragged kicking and screaming to this championship win. In WWE, they refused to give him this moment until they had to acquiesce, because the fans were also Punk had left. They were backed into a bit of a corner, but it just
and even then there was no long-term plans for him. Like, he got injured, and there was still
straight into a feud with Kane. MAGA Kane. Oh God. Just
WWE.
Oh yeah, what are we gonna do with you, eh? Oh, again, watched it for a second time today. Got emotional at the end all over again. Claudio and Wheeler appear. They carry Brian's kids to the ring, and Pac is also there. Fireworks and ticker tape fill the sky as Brian celebrates with his family, who are so happy for him. Everyone, as is everyone in Wembley Stadium, and that's the curfew. So we are out.
Whether it was intentional or not, it made me want to see a Pac Danielson match in the future.
Oh God, please.
Yeah,
take
definitely.
my money.
Do you know who I'd like to? Do you know where I'd like to see Pac? It's not Black. I'd like to see Pac with face paint on, and I'd like him to be part of House of Black.
House of Pac.
It would work.
House of Pac. It'd be like, because there was that little tease at the end of the ladder match where Brody King walked up and raised his arm. It's like, please, I want that.
Well, whatever.
I want that. I love House of Black. I love Pac. Give me what I want, Tony.
Well, and Pac's very short reign as a babyface, because he was over in England, certainly over as he immediately took out Will, like we said, with that Poison Rana last night on Dynamite. Absolutely great stuff. Absolutely great stuff. But and then just like I said, very sweet moments with Brian and Birdie on the media scrum, and she's all shy, and Meltzer asks her a question. Yeah, do you want to go to Australia and Japan? As in, like, because if she says yes, then Brian's got to do it. Very great stuff. Guys, any other thoughts on the pay-per-view before we get out of here after a casual 3 hours?
I think. Go on, Palmer.
No, you first, you.
I was going to say, if this was a WWE show, I think they would have had a big heat moment in it. I'm surprised that MJF didn't beat Will Ospreay. I think that would have been that's a huge opportunity to get some genuine, massive heat before a big feel-good ending. But
I think Tony wanted to give Will
especially
win.
now that
in his home country. I was surprised that Will wasn't going for the title this year, but look how it worked out. Question from Skolonsky: Could this match have done without the retirement stipulation? the build was so kind of nothing until that stipulation was added to it, and it like I said, the family being such a key part, the retirement stipulation, yeah, maybe it was then a bit broadcasted that Brian was winning, but I just thought it all culminated beautifully, really.
And
It did.
if AEW was in, sorry.
Sorry, Silent, go ahead.
I think even like regardless of the stipulation, I think the match actually over-delivered still.
And
It was such a brutal fight.
think about that. Swerve Brian.
Yeah.
So our expectations are up here, and it delivered even more than that.
Like the first time I watched it, I was invested in the match, and the second time I watched it, I was even more invested in the match still, just because of what was taking place in the ring. They tell such a great story.
And the first time I watched it live, we were chatting in the Discord, so I'm missing a lot of stuff. I'm so glad I rewatched it. I obviously had to for this thing, but it was amazing. And Kimbler chimes in with Christian winning was the heat moment, and I would agree.
I fucking hated that, and I'm still angry about it.
I love it.
But more angry than Mercedes versus Brett Silent, or are we looking at a joint tie for hate?
I have no emotion whatsoever over that match. It was
And Stuart feels nothing.
I mean, like the anger's different because like one actually matters and the other one just really, really doesn't at all. Like the Mercedes Brit match, just like whatever, I can get over it. Nothing changed from it. But the Christian one, that's a fucking main event at whatever pay-per-view they do. I'm guessing All Out.
Again, it's one of those things where there's so little time to build something. You can have a Christian Brian filler match and be like, okay, 2-week build, blah blah blah. I'm your kid's new dad. Done. Like,
I just wish it had been like Hangman or something. Like they could have gone in a roundabout way. Like Hangman fucks up the match for Swerve, gets the belt off of Brian, and then they have their match afterwards. I know that feud doesn't need the belt, but I just wish they'd have gone about it in a completely different way. The Christian thing, he's sort of like just been thrown in there, and then it's going to be about dad stuff, and that's it.
Yeah,
Christian
I just googled.
Sorry, Paul.
No, I just googled is Brian Danielson's dad dead, and he is. So
it's a ready-made feud.
We know what we're getting.
It's a ready-made feud.
And Stu, you go, and then I'll ask my question.
No, I completely forgot what I was going to say, so you crack on.
If not Christian, who would you have had win the Battle Royal?
Okada, maybe.
So many choices.
How many matches do they have in the end? 2?
Yeah, I think 2.
So you could have had Okada win, have a third match, like rubber match for the title. That would have been pretty good.
Does Okada not have a title already?
Skolansky, yeah, he does.
He does.
Yeah, he's got the...
And so did Ospreay.
What the fuck is the name of his belt? This is what I'm talking about.
It's the Continental one. There's too many fucking belts. Behave, Tony. I get you're a core-kettle fucking wrestling fan, but fucking hell, mate.
I'm going to introduce 15 more belts! Here with me!
Especially with fucking the TBS title where he keeps buying new custom ones. As much as they look cool, like I really like when Miro held it, it doesn't need to be a new belt every 3 weeks.
It is quite kind of cool that the TNT title, the gimmick of the TNT title is that it's had so many different looks. I mean, that's quite. If all the belts change so regularly, maybe not. And I know we've just gone from international to American back to international again. Yeah. But yeah, Skolansky says Nigel. Yeah, I mean, maybe Nigel doesn't want to do regular matches, but I mean, yeah, Nigel. And
fuck it, give it to Shark Boy. Have Shark Boy come out and win the gauntlet.
Yeah,
Curry Man. But no, well, Daniels was there, but yeah, no, we're going to get Nigel Bryan in some capacity. I'm so certain of that.
I said the other day that we should see Curry Man, but since it's England, it should be Chicken Tikka Man.
Well, and our national dish.
Should be over.
Guys, anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here?
My general opinion of the show is that overall it was 7 out of 10. There were some flat bits. There was that Mercedes Moné match. There was someone kicking off at Stu in his TikTok comments.
Oh, that
What?
I can deal with.
Go on, what
The
happened?
tick- Oh, I stuck a video of, I can't remember what one it was. I think it was Danielson winning. Didn't take many videos because I try to live in the moment when I'm there. But I took a video, stuck it on TikTok, and just expected like negativity for the sake of negativity. But there was some interesting comments from some people just making shit up. I think one person complained that Mercedes was mocking the Queen, mocking our late Queen, like anyone in the stadium gave a fuck.
Amazing.
Someone said, "Oh, they're mocking the late Queen," and I just replied with, "Well, it's not like she's cares. She's dead."
You can't. At least it. Hey, some people have got some crazy imaginations, and hey, the power of the imagination, people never ever lose it, right?
I know Tony Khan is rich, but he doesn't have the money to bring people back from the dead
Yet. But it was. It's tough to again. Without that crowd, who knows what we'd all be feeling? But what a show! An amazing show. Yeah, not perfect start to finish.
I really enjoyed it from start to finish. I think that there was a lot of matches, and I think that's just going to be a constant complaint or criticism of every AEW show is you can cut it down, especially when you've got another pay-per-view in 2 weeks. No one's going to notice if you move a couple of matches over to the other card. Like it'll be fine. But all in all, I thought it flowed really well. Everything worked. You obviously had the Mercedes Brit match, but something had to be in that spot, and I couldn't think of a more deserving match, to be honest, with that build-up and the talent involved. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. 10 out of 10 would go again.
Wow.
Maybe if we're going to critique it, 9 out of 10 for that. But yeah, very, very good.
What was everyone's favourite match other than the main event?
I don't know, man.
Because I'm assuming everyone.
Why can't I choose the main event?
Because the main event was everyone's favourite match because it was the best match.
I think just because I said earlier it's the only one that I looked at and said I wish that was on a bit longer, but I'd say Tony Storm versus Mariah May. Like, it did everything it needed to within that 15 minutes, and it's made me want to see it again. It makes me want to see the characters develop more for a future match, so I'd have to say that one.
Casino Gauntlet was just so much fun.
Oh, the Gauntlet, yeah.
I really enjoyed the Casino Gauntlet until the end, but
MJF and Will.
Honestly, I did actually like that much either. I felt it was not enough allowing Ospreay to do what he does best. It just felt like he had to come down a level because like MJF doesn't have the same work rate as him. So
it definitely wasn't as good as their Dynamite match, and it was a big thing to live up to. Like,
I was surprised they didn't have their first match at Wembley. I loved that hour-long match. I was really surprised, Tony. But again, it's all TV rights deals getting renewed, and he wants to pop a rating. So I completely get it.
I'd give that match 8 revs out of 10.
Amazing stuff. Well, guys, if you want people to get in touch with you, find you online, where can people do it? Where can they find you? Stuart.
Twitch.tv/Stuart, for WWE 2K24, some other story-based games, and some wrestling watch-alongs as well.
I love the I love the different NWO factions that you've got going in the streams right now. It's very cool. The costumes
I've
are
broken
great.
one up now, and I'm raring to get another one going.
Holy shit, amazing. Parmo Lord, how about yourself?
I don't want people to get in touch with me. Hang on, I'll just get my phone number up.
07
50.
Shit, how do you know?
Because I'm the one who calls you at 5 a.m.
You are a drummer. Twitch.tv/Parmo Lords. I've been playing Zelda, not Tears of the Kingdom, because that's shit. What for me? Twilight Princess and Portal 2 and chatting bollocks. And
so you like Portal 2?
I like Portal 2. Yeah, it's great.
God.
I love. Portal 2's one of the best puzzle games ever made.
Funniest game ever made as well, maybe.
Oh yeah, Starlight Achievement Merchant. X or whatever it's called, twitter.com/Parmo Lord when I bothered to tweet.
Excellent stuff. Silent?
You'll find me at twitch.tv/the Fox in his chat, banning all of the bots.
I appreciate it, man. And guys, thank you so much for your time tonight. Like I said, I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, maybe an hour and a half. Thank you for 3 hours and 15 minutes of your time. So if we talk for one more minute, it will be the podcast will finish at 3:16. Hell yeah! But
yeah.
Quick, keep talking.
We're going to have to. I'd love to do a podcast with you guys again, and I'd love to have other of the amazing Foxhounds on to talk wrestling, games, or anything in general on this stream, on the podcasts. But yeah, speaking of.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
thanks
having
for having
me,
me.
mate.
Don't be silly.
Thanks for having me on.
No, my pleasure. No, I owe you guys the thanks. I owe you guys the thanks. You know,
Well, my
it would have been
invoice will be in the emails.
a lot less entertaining if it was just me talking about this all by myself. But yeah, thank you to everybody, everybody for watching as well and commenting. And again, it being a podcast, I'm sorry we couldn't get to all of your comments, but the stream will resume as normal, if not before Sunday. Then before Sunday. We'll be back on Sunday for sure. I don't know about Friday or Saturday, but we'll see. But that is the end of this podcast, and that is the end of our chat about AEW All In London 2024. And we will see you next time. And when that next time comes, don't forget to hook the leg.